At the start of the episode, we are shown a village scene. There, we see a stranger entering the village. From the moment he arrives, he feels very strange and unsettling. He looks scary, and his eyes are extremely frightening. Just by looking at him, it feels like his past was full of pain. It doesn't seem like he has ever had any good experiences in life. No one in the village wants that man to stay there, but there is one village elder who stops him and allows the stranger to stay at a place in the village. Now, 4 days have passed since the stranger arrived, but during all this time, he stays in the same place. It doesn't even feel like a new person has come to the village. Some villagers start getting curious. They wonder what is so special about him. Why doesn't he come outside? And who exactly is he? About a week passes, and many villagers find out what he's been doing there. Some village kids secretly see him practicing. Sword practice. The kids say that in his yard, he keeps swinging a sword again and again. Nothing else. Just sword swings. 1 month passes, then 2 months, then 3 months, and now rumors begin spreading in the village. People say he must be practicing for so long because either he wants revenge on someone or he is a famous knight from the past. All these rumors spread everywhere. There is one man in the village who watches him closely every single day. 1 year passes, 2 years pass, 5 years, 10 years go by, but every time, that man sees the same thing. The stranger is still training, still swinging his sword in the yard. And like this, 37 years pass. After 37 years, that man becomes completely old. Even then, he goes to check on the stranger. And this time, he sees something shocking. The man has died while practicing. Till his last breath, he was still training with his sword. Suddenly, the scene breaks. We see a child waking up from sleep. He says, "What kind of dream was that?" And now we realize that the swordsman we were watching all this time was just part of his dream. From here, the main story begins. We are shown the Periyar State. Someone is explaining that Periyar State is located in the southern part of the kingdom. This kingdom is famous for many things, but most of all, it is famous because of the king's children. The king here is Baron Periyara, and this conversation is happening between guards. One guard says that especially the young lady, Kirill, received the title of magician at just 11 years old. She was personally appointed by the royal family. The guard says he's telling all this so they can understand how rare magicians really are. The conversation continues, and the guard says that Kirill is famous, of course, but the youngest son is also very well known. His name is Aaron Periyara, and his nickname is the Lazy Noble. At a very young age, he lost his mother. After that, nothing in his life really moved forward. For 15 years, he's only stayed in his room and slept. That's why everyone calls him the Lazy Noble. And, honestly, if you see your mother die in front of your eyes, it's obvious that kind of trauma will affect you. By the way, this Lazy Noble is the same boy we saw at the beginning, the one who woke up from the dream. While the guards are talking, they suddenly hear a voice from behind, asking what is going on here. We see the king's second wife, Emilia, and Kirill standing there. Kirill scolds the guards, asking who told them to talk nonsense during their shift. All the guards bow down and apologize. They promise it won't happen again. Kirill says, "Why do you even do things that force you to apologize later? Your duty is to do your job properly. This should not happen again." Kirill's mother stops her and says, "That's enough, Kirill." But Kirill replies that the guards are not doing their duty properly. Emilia calmly says that it's fine. They've realized their mistake and won't repeat it again. She tells the guards to handle personal conversations after their shift, and during duty stay focused. Then both of them leave. One guard thinks to himself that young lady Kirill is very impressive, and Emilia still looks very young. But compared to them, the young Lord Aaron is completely different. Now the scene shifts to Aaron, the Lazy Noble. We see that Aaron looks very disturbed. He is unable to sleep. He says, "Why are such weird things happening to me? This never happens. I always sleep. It's very rare for me to stay awake. So why am I having trouble sleeping now?" He says that ever since he had that dream, the swordsman dream, strange things have been happening to him. He can't sleep properly. His muscles feel extremely tired, as if he himself was swinging that sword. And most importantly, his body is craving something. He can barely even stand properly. But still, He feels like he needs something desperately. Just then, the butler arrives. He asks, "Sir, do you need anything?" We see that Aaron can barely even speak properly. With great effort, he tells the butler, "I want to use a sword." Hearing this, the butler is completely shocked. He says, "Sir, what are you saying?" After all, a lazy noble who has been sleeping for 15 years, suddenly wanting to use a sword, is shocking for anyone. Now, we are shown the royal family's training ground. Aaron has arrived there. The guards look at him and start whispering, "Hey, am I seeing this right? What did I just witness?" Everyone is confused. They can't believe it's real. The young master is actually walking toward the training arena. One guard says, "We barely ever see his face. So how did he suddenly come to the training ground?" Another guard says, "Don't tell me he came here to train. That's impossible." We see Aaron walking toward the sword rack. The butler quickly says, "Young master, even though these are wooden swords, their characteristics depend on shape, size, and length." He continues, "I don't have much knowledge about swords myself. If you wait a little, I can bring a master swordsman who can properly teach you swordsmanship." Aaron replies calmly, "There's no need for that." He moves forward and grabs the biggest sword there. Everyone is shocked. Why did he choose the largest sword? One guard tells another guard to pinch him and says, "Am I dreaming or what?" The butler tries to stop him. "Please don't lift such a big sword, young master." But Aaron lifts it and immediately starts swinging it. The sword is extremely large. And since Aaron has been lying in bed for 15 years, he clearly doesn't have much strength. It looks like his entire body is in pain. Still, Aaron puts all his strength into it and tries to swing the sword. He barely manages to move it. The people watching start commenting, "Well, this is exactly what we expected." He looks completely pathetic. Another person says, "What else did you expect?" He spent his entire life sleeping. This is his first day outside, and he suddenly came to lift a sword. Of course, this was bound to happen. Still, people are confused. Why did he suddenly come here to practice? Something must have happened to him. Nearby, two people are talking quietly. One of them says, "Do you think his sudden training has something to do with that incident from last week?" The other person asks, "What do you mean?" The first man explains, "Last month, the ruler of the neighboring kingdom, Lord Garin, his son humiliated our young master. He openly insulted the lazy noble. The situation got so bad that Aaron couldn't even say a single word. Apparently, he kept everything inside and came back like that. And now it makes sense. Maybe that's when he got the motivation to train." After saying this, the man walks away saying, "Let's go." He'll barely train for 2 or 3 days, and then he'll lose motivation again. At that moment, the butler scolds them. "I can hear everything you're saying." Then the butler walks up to Aaron and says, "Young master, swordsmanship is a very important skill. It's also a very basic and fundamental one. That's why I'll have to arrange a swordsman for you to train you properly. I'll find the best trainer in the city to teach you proper sword skills. So until you get an official mentor, why don't you start training properly from tomorrow?" Aaron doesn't reply. Inside his mind, he is thinking, "Every time I swing the sword, all the muscles in my arms and my entire body are screaming. It hurts so much. But why is this happening? I've never even held a sword before today. So why is my body reacting like this?" Suddenly, Aaron loses balance and falls while holding the sword. He says to himself, "I'm practicing swordsmanship, so why do I feel so relaxed? Why do I keep copying that man I saw in my dream? Every time I swing this sword, it feels like all the pain in my heart is disappearing. All my bad memories, all my negativity, slowly start fading away. I feel calmer, lighter, more relaxed." As he says this, he starts practicing again and keeps swinging the sword. "I can't stop myself." The butler tries to stop him. "Young master, please stop. This is enough for today. You shouldn't overdo it. It's almost evening." Aaron replies, "Has the sun already set?" As soon as he says that, he suddenly collapses. I can't feel anything anymore. He collapses because he has practiced way too much. That's exactly what the butler tells him. While practicing, he didn't even realize when evening had arrived. In just one day, he had trained far beyond his limit. Aaron asks the butler, "Were you waiting here for me the whole day? You could have done other work, or at least told me it was getting so late." The butler replies, "How could I leave you alone? This is the first time in 15 years that you came here to practice. It wouldn't have been right to leave you alone. Anything could have happened." Then the butler says, "That's enough for today. You should go and rest now." Aaron replies, "Yeah, I know that. Although I'm not sure how long my body can handle this." Now we see a nighttime scene. Aaron is lying on his bed. He says, "My entire body is in pain. It hurts so badly. It feels like I trained so much today that my body couldn't handle it. But why am I copying the man from my dream so much? Why do I feel such a strong urge to swing a sword?" Thinking about all this, he slowly falls asleep. A few days later, we see another scene. The same Aaron, who had been lying on his bed and sleeping for 15 years, has completely changed his routine. He now wakes up early in the morning and starts having proper breakfast. The butler asks him, "Are you going to the training ground again today to practice?" Aaron replies, "Yes." In his mind, Aaron thinks, "From that day onward, I want to improve myself. I don't know why, but since that day, that dream comes to me every single night. To satisfy my body's reflexes, I have to swing a sword every day. That's why I keep practicing. I don't know how long I'll continue like this, but as long as I can, I will keep practicing. And honestly, this isn't a bad thing. Since I started training, I can feel improvement inside my body. It feels like my body is slowly gaining strength. So, this isn't something bad. Although, for now, I need to eat a lot more so my training doesn't get affected." Then he says, "Bring me some more milk and sandwiches." The butler replies, "Yes, sir." After that, we are shown a city scene. We see a few guards talking among themselves. Suddenly, an old man approaches them. He asks one guard, "Can you tell me where the training ground is?" The soldiers ask, "Who are you? And why do you want to go to the training ground?" The old man replies, "I am a wandering knight. I travel through different territories and observe their training grounds to see what's going on. And of course, I'm approved for this. I have a permit. I can show it to you if you want." The soldiers say, "All right, our shift is about to end, so we'll take you to the training ground with us." They take him to the Periyara training ground and say, "This is the training ground." We then learn that the soldiers have placed a bet among themselves about how many days the lazy noble can continue training. Today is his 4th consecutive day of training. They still can't believe that the lazy noble has been training for so many days. The old man listens to their conversation while watching the noble train. In his mind, he thinks, "He's not as bad as I expected. It doesn't look like he came here just to kill time. But his swordsmanship is very poor. He lacks strength. He can't handle the sword's weight properly. His breathing technique is terrible, and he has no stamina. And most importantly, I want to see how long he can continue this practice. Everyone says he started training because he was humiliated. But that doesn't make sense to me. Motivation doesn't last that long. No one chooses a skill like swordsmanship for such a small reason. That kind of thinking is problematic. There must be some other reason." Suddenly, a strong gust of wind blows. Everyone looks up and sees a griffin in the sky. We see that Kirill is riding the griffin. She jumps down and walks toward the arena. We learn that griffins are extremely rare, and Kirill can use one only because of her magical powers. The guards silently praise Kirill in their minds. Then Kirill scolds them. "You guys started this again? I already warned you that during your shift, you should focus only on your duty." After that, Kirill looks at the old man and asks, "Who are you?" The The man starts explaining that he is a wandering knight who visits different training grounds. But Kirill interrupts again and scolds the guards, saying they are not doing their duty properly. Why are you all standing here and talking instead of working? The guards, clearly scared, tell Kirill, our shift is already over. That's why we came here, and we've already switched shifts with the afternoon workers. Kirill is still scolding them when the lazy noble, Aaron, walks over to her and asks, Hey, Kirill, what's going on here? Kirill angrily turns toward him and says, What are you doing here? Stop this stupid behavior right now. Aaron ignores her and goes back to his training. Kirill gets even more annoyed and says, Do you really think swordsmanship is that easy? You slept for so many years, and now you think you'll suddenly learn a skill? That's a huge misunderstanding. You think swinging a wooden sword again and again will give you results? Your swordsmanship is terrible. Even these rookie guards are better than you. She keeps going, saying, Just because someone said something to you 2 weeks ago, you got hurt and started doing all this? While she's still shouting, a voice comes from behind. Kirill. Her mother arrives and says, Kirill, don't trouble your brother. Come here quietly. Kirill finally calms down. Her mother walks up to the guards and says, Good work, all of you. You're doing well. Then she looks at Aaron and says, Aaron, don't overdo yourself. Aaron replies, All right. After that, they all leave. The old man watches everything and thinks to himself, So this is the famous Kirill Periara. She really is like a storm. She hit hard and left. He continues thinking, Even with all that chaos around him, Aaron didn't lose his focus. He kept training. I feel like I should observe him for a few more days. I can see some potential in him. Now we see a night scene. Kirill comes near the young lord's room. The butler notices her and says, Young master is sleeping right now. Kirill looks at him angrily and says, So what? The butler replies, I think it would be better if you came later. Kirill snaps back, I have work with him. The butler says, Whatever it is, it can wait until tomorrow. It's better not to wake him right now. Kirill gets furious and says, Who are you to lecture me? Don't ever talk back to me again. The butler gets scared and immediately apologizes. Kirill then says, Don't tell anyone about this. And don't tell anyone that I came near Aaron's room. The next morning, we see another scene. A cat doll comes near Aaron and wakes him up. As he opens his eyes, he notices an envelope beside his bed. He opens it and sees it's from Kirill. The letter says, I'm sorry for what I said to you earlier. When I heard how much you've been training and that you weren't even eating properly, I got worried about you. I'm leaving this doll here to help you when you rest. I hope it helps you a little. And please keep this a secret from Mom that I came here. On the back of the letter, Kirill's mother has written, If Kirill troubles you again, tell me. I'll take care of you. Aaron starts laughing softly and says, Kirill and her mom worry about me so much. I spent almost 10 to 15 years lying on my bed like an idiot. And even after that, they still care about me this much. Thinking about this, he feels really happy. Just then, a voice calls out, Young master, your meal is ready. Aaron gets up and says, Today, I'll eat with my family. At the dining table, Kirill helps him a lot with his food. She says, Brother, let me help you. Their mother praises her as well. Then Aaron thanks everyone, his father, his mother, and Kirill. He says, I've always wanted to tell you this. I'm truly grateful to all of you. Even when I did nothing all day and just stayed in bed, you still took such good care of me. I'm really thankful. And I want to say sorry, and I love you all. His father replies calmly, There's no need for all this. Just take care of yourself and finish your meal properly. Then his father adds, I've heard that these days you're focusing a lot on swordsmanship. His father says, It's really good that you're training yourself. Even if you started late, this is still a very good thing. But I just want you to remember one thing. Don't overwork yourself. Take care of your health. Aaron replies, Yes, everything is fine. I'm not overworking at all, and I'm taking full care of myself. His father adds, Still, you should take some precautions. Aaron says, Don't worry. I'll be careful. Inside his mind, Aaron thinks, Compared to the training I do in my dreams, this is nothing. Now we are shown that 15 days have passed since Aaron started training. He has been pushing himself very hard. For 15 straight days, without missing even a single day, he continues his intense training. We also see that the old man has been observing him for these 15 days. The old man thinks, It's been almost 10 days since I started watching this young master's training. At first, I thought he only started training because he wanted to overcome his inferiority complex. And since that was his reason, I didn't think he would last long. I believed he would quit very soon. But I was wrong. I heard this noble was called the lazy noble because he used to lie around all day. Even so, someone who had never exercised in his life trained for 15 days straight without any breaks. He pushed himself to his absolute limit. That's truly impressive. His willpower deserves real praise. If I look back at my entire life, I've never seen someone with such strong willpower. No matter how great a person is, true willpower only comes with experience. And I can see that willpower in this 15-year-old boy. If he continues sword training like this, and if his potential is guided by a proper mentor, he could go very far. He truly has great capability. Nearby, the old man speaks to Aaron's caretaker. Hey, caretaker, I want to ask you something. The caretaker replies, Yes, sir. Go ahead. The old man asks, Is this noble currently receiving any training? Has a swordsmanship mentor been arranged for him? The caretaker explains, The Lord said he would arrange sword lessons soon. But for now, the young master is practicing on his own. And honestly, even without a master, he has already made remarkable progress. The old man asks, Do you know who will be training him? The caretaker replies, I'm not completely sure. That information is being kept secret. But I believe it might be Knight Origenker. Hearing this, the old man suddenly shouts, What did you just say? Inside his mind, he thinks, Origenker was busy drinking the night before his official training. I can't hand this noble over to him. This boy deserves a bright future. That man is nothing but a rascal who only knows how to yell at soldiers. I can't just sit here and watch this happen. I have to do something for this noble, to secure his future. I need to meet the Lord. In the next scene, the old man meets the Lord and tells him everything. The Lord asks, Is all of this really true? The old man replies, Yes, my Lord. It is all true. The Lord thinks to himself, This man says my son has great potential. Then we see a recommendation letter in the Lord's hand. It is from the Chrono Swordsmanship School, given by the old man. The Lord thinks, This is the best swordsmanship school on the entire continent. They don't just teach talented children. Regardless of nationality, gender, or status, only true talent is trained here. This academy has an even greater reputation than the Royal Academy. But entering this academy and surviving there is extremely difficult. Will Aaron be able to win against such fierce competition? Does he truly have what it takes? After that, the Lord calls Aaron and explains everything to him. He says, Aaron, I won't force you. This is your choice. If you want to join this academy, you may. I only wanted to tell you what kind of struggles you might face if you choose this path. After hearing this, Aaron replies, He needs some time to think. We see Aaron sitting alone in his room, thinking to himself, Will I really be able to do well there? Do I even have that much potential? I spent 10 years lying on a bed, and now suddenly I'll go to a swordsmanship academy. Will I be able to survive there? But then, suddenly, confidence rises inside him. He says to himself, I don't want to live that kind of life anymore. I have to get out of this. I need to do this for myself, and for my loving family too. After that, he goes to his father and says, Father, I'm ready. I'll go to that academy. In the next scene, his family comes to say goodbye. They say, We'll meet again soon. Take care of yourself. After that, Aaron leaves with the butler. The butler says, This is your first ride outside the town. Aaron replies, Yes, you're right. Then the butler hands him a small, sword-shaped locket and says, Miss Carroll gave this to me and asked me to give it to you. Inside his mind, Aaron says, Thank you, Carroll. Soon after, the butler says, Master, we've arrived at the academy. Aaron looks at it and is completely shocked. The butler asks, Should I escort you inside? Aaron replies, No, that won't be necessary. From today onward, I'm just a trainee here. I don't need any special treatment or noble privileges. I need to get used to doing things on my own. The butler is shocked to hear this. He says goodbye, and Aaron says, I'll come back very soon. As the butler leaves, he says, I hope that when you return, you'll bring excellent results. After that, Aaron walks into the academy. At the gates, guards are escorting other nobles inside. Many noble families have sent their children here. One guard announces, This is young noble Part Leod, from the family of Count Leod, a highly respected family in the kingdom of Kubera. The guards bow and say, It's an honor to meet you. Then they escort him inside. Now Aaron walks up to the gate and hands over his recommendation letter. He says, My name is Aaron Periara. I belong to the Baron Periara family. I received this recommendation from a wandering prestigious knight, Sir Brun Somerville. The guards respectfully greet him and say, We're honored to meet the young master of the Periara family. One guard adds, Sir Brun Somerville is a highly prestigious knight. For decades, he has led major conquests and won countless battles. If he recommended you, then it's obvious you'll perform well here. You may head to the auditorium. Good luck, Aaron replies. Thank you for your encouragement. After Aaron leaves, the guards start talking among themselves. What happened to Sir Brun? Since when did he start recommending people? He never recommends anyone. The other guard says, And the one he recommended is that lazy noble. Haven't you heard about him? Why would he recommend him? What's so special about him? He's that lazy kid from the Periara family. Just look at him. He looks weak. What did that old knight see in him? Well, we'll find out very soon. After that, Aaron heads toward the auditorium. As soon as he opens the door, he sees a huge crowd inside. Everyone suddenly starts staring at him. Aaron thinks, Why is everyone staring at me? I need to stay calm. He slowly walks toward his seat. Then he notices the same man from the entrance gate standing on the podium. Aaron thinks, Is he the instructor here? The instructor speaks. I welcome all 400 preliminary trainees. I am your instructor. I'll train you and evaluate your performance. Inside his mind, he thinks, This time, I see many promising faces. The most outstanding one here will be Elia Lanza. She's the second genius from the Lans family. She's extremely talented, even more than her brother. Why is she here? We then see another boy watching Elia and thinking, Damn, my chances of getting first place are in danger. She's definitely going to take first. This is the same boy we saw at the gate earlier. The instructor then says, As I told you before, you are not official trainees yet. You are only preliminary trainees. Swordsmanship training is extremely difficult. If you pass the next stage, which includes 2 very tough assessments, only then can you stay here for a year. Until then, you'll remain preliminary trainees. And trust me, hell is waiting for you here. This training journey will be very dangerous. He then orders, "Leave all your belongings here. We're heading outside." They are taken to the training ground. The instructor explains, "This is where your physical training will happen. There are many sessions here: cardio, endurance, muscle strength, and more. But for now, we'll start simple. This will be a basic running course." He shouts, "Get ready. Your first physical fitness test begins now." He starts running, and everyone follows him. He says while running, "I underestimated you, but you're doing better than I expected." The blue-haired noble thinks, "I'm doing fairly well, but I need to analyze the situation." Then he looks at the lazy noble, lying on the ground. He smirks and says, "He really lives up to his nickname. He's truly lazy. This is beyond him." Aaron thinks, "My heart feels like it's about to burst. I can't do this anymore. This is my limit." But he stands up again and starts running with everything he has. The instructor laughs while watching him. Aaron thinks, "Compared to the man I see in my dreams, this is nothing. If I want to become like him, I have to work even harder. I must keep running. I must push myself further to reach my goal." The marathon continues. Aaron keeps running with all his strength. His condition looks terrible, like he could faint at any moment. Another instructor, watching from afar, says, "He hasn't given up yet. I thought he would have quit by now. He doesn't look physically fit at all." Aaron keeps struggling, and suddenly he collapses. The second instructor rushes in and catches him. Meanwhile, the others finish their race. The instructor says, "He's completely exhausted. He pushed his body beyond its limits. This kid is really interesting." Later, Aaron wakes up in a room. He realizes he's in the medical ward and says, "Where am I?" A man approaches him and says, "Don't worry. Your body is fine now. I'm an instructor here. My name is Instructor Run Tarhal. I'm in charge of the recovery room. You've been told to rest here." He smiles and says, "Looking at your condition, I feel like I'll be seeing you here often. You might need the medical room every day." Aaron replies seriously, "Yes, you might be right." The instructor laughs and says, "Hey, don't be so serious. I was just joking." He hands Aaron a paper with rankings written on it. Aaron realizes these rankings are only for this test. They don't affect final admission. The final assessment will be separate, so there's no need to feel demotivated. Aaron sees his rank 400th place, the last rank. The instructor says, "You just need to work harder. You can easily raise your rank. In 1 year, these rankings will completely change. So don't worry about it." Aaron stays silent. Seeing this, the instructor thinks, "What's wrong with this kid? I'm trying so hard to comfort him, but he's completely calm." Looking at him, it doesn't feel like he's sad because of his rank. It feels like something else is going on in his mind. The instructor then says, "All right, if you're feeling better, you should head out now. It's your first day. Are you really going to spend it lying on a bed?" The next day begins. The trainer greets everyone. "Hello, trainees. So, how was your sleep last night? Not too bad, right?" Everyone replies, "Yes, sir." He says, "Very good. It looks like you're doing well here. I'm glad to meet you all. My name is Kara. I'll also be one of your instructors. From today onward, you'll follow a strict routine. You'll wake up in the morning, have breakfast, then morning training. After that comes lunch, then afternoon training, then dinner, and after dinner, mental training and liberal arts classes. If there are any changes in the schedule, we'll inform you. Any free time you get is completely yours. How you use it depends on you. From today, the drill hall, indoor fitness rooms, and training areas will be open. Any preliminary trainee is free to do private training. There are no restrictions, as long as it's during free time." Hearing this, Aaron feels happy and thinks, "Great, now I can practice sword skills." But then the instructor announces, however, all weapon training is banned. That includes swordsmanship. No sword or weapon training will be allowed for now. Hearing this, Aaron feels disappointed. Later that evening, Leod, the blue-haired noble, is walking with his friends. One of them says, "Wasn't that liberal arts class terrible? It was all theory. I almost fell asleep." Another replies, "That's because you weren't paying attention. You didn't understand anything." The first guy snaps, "Just shut up." What did the instructor even teach? Soon they reach the training area, where everyone is doing muscle training. They're surprised to see how hard everyone is training. But one of them says, "It's only the first few days. Everyone shows up at the start. Soon they'll get tired and quit." Leod notices Elia training intensely. Seeing her, he's shocked. Inside his mind, he thinks, the rumors about her are true. She's gaining power insanely fast. She doesn't even look like a preliminary trainee. She's incredibly strong. She's making even me feel inferior. She's on a completely different level. His friend asks, "How is she this strong? I heard she's only 1 year older than me." Leod then notices Aaron training nearby. They start mocking him. "Look at that lazy noble. He's actually training." They laugh and say, "He worked so hard yesterday too. This alone is too much for him. He's on a completely different level than us. And not in a good way. He slept for 15 years and suddenly started working hard. Just look at him. He looks like he could faint any moment. He can't even handle the weights." Leod stops them and says, "Stop wasting time and focus on your own training." His friends reply, "Okay." As Leod walks ahead, he sees Judith. He thinks, "She's the girl who pushed me to second place. She took first place herself. A commoner like her is really strong. But I don't want to lose to her again. I'll definitely beat her this time." Judith notices him staring and snaps, "Stop staring at me and mind your own business." Leod replies awkwardly, "What did you just say?" Judith says, "Are you crazy?" "Of course I'm talking to you. Because of you, I can't focus. So get lost already." Leod's friends rush in and shout, "How dare you talk like that? He's from a noble family. A young master of the kingdom. You should show him respect." An argument starts. Judith suddenly says, "Just shut up for 2 minutes." Everyone looks in another direction and sees Elia standing next to Aaron. Elia asks Aaron, "Hey, are you okay?" She says, "I wanted to talk to you." They start talking quietly. Judith and the others watch, shocked. After that, Elia leaves. Judith and Leod both think, "I couldn't hear a single word." Judith walks away. Leod's friend asks, "Hey, where are you going?" "We weren't done talking." Meanwhile, Aaron continues training seriously. Judith walks up to him and says, "Are you ignoring me? I called you earlier. Why didn't you answer?" Aaron replies, "Sorry, I didn't hear you." Judith says coldly, "I'm not interested in talking. Just tell me quickly what I want to know." Aaron asks, "What do you want to know?" She asks, "What did Elia talk to you about?" "Tell me everything," Aaron replies. "She just taught me how to properly use the equipment and how to work out more effectively." Judith snaps, "Do you think I'm stupid?" "You expect me to believe that?" "You're lying. She definitely said something else. What's your relationship with her? Did you know her before? Or is she your girlfriend?" Aaron replies, "No, nothing like that. This was the first time I met her." Judith sighs and says, "Fine, but stop making such serious expressions." If someone sees us, they'll think I'm bullying you. She walks away. Aaron thinks to himself. She was really persistent. Then he thinks, maybe I should train the way Elia taught me. I'll follow her method. Just then, Liad approaches him. Liad says, I want to ask you something. Can you tell me what Elia talked to you about? And if possible, tell me what that red-haired girl talked to you about too. Aaron explains everything to him as well. 1 month later, we see Liad with his friends. One of them says, It's been almost a month. We keep repeating the same routine. I don't even understand why they haven't given us swords yet. Why aren't we doing proper practice? Liad notices Elia helping Aaron train again. She's guiding him carefully. She says to Aaron, Focus on your breathing. Do it properly. Liad thinks, I don't need to worry about those two. Elia is my real competition. As for Aaron Periara, he's the complete opposite. I'm sure he didn't get here on his own. He must have had connections. Someone who never worked out before. Why would he suddenly come here? He doesn't even have the courage to come here alone. Even though he gets mocked, Elia keeps encouraging him. That's the only reason he's still surviving here. Otherwise, he would have quit long ago. Liad says to his friends, Let's head to the track. We'll practice there. Inside his mind, he thinks, My goal is to reach second place. At the track, he sees Judith already training. He thinks, she works really hard. She arrives earlier than us and starts practicing. Why do commoners like her work this hard? I don't get it. Liad says, Let's start running. His friend asks, Right now? Liad replies, If it's too much for you, you can stop. I'll do it alone. His friend says, No, we'll train too. Liad says, All right, give it everything you've got and follow me. 3 months later, 2 instructors are talking. They say, This batch of trainees is really hard-working. They're putting in serious effort. Our unrivaled trio, Judith, Liad, and Elia, all 3 are working extremely hard. And even the lazy noble has improved quite a bit. He's putting in decent effort. Now he has reached a stage where calling him the lazy noble doesn't feel right anymore. He has developed a lot of physical strength. After that, we see a classroom scene. The instructor tells everyone that he has an announcement. He says, Finally, the time has come. Your midterm evaluation is about to begin. Then he explains, This time, I'll tell you about the course for your midterm evaluation. You'll have to complete this course within a time limit. He starts explaining the course using a map. Everyone reacts and says, It's impossible to finish this course within the given time. The coach replies, No, it's not impossible. In the last 4 months, you've learned many things. You just need to use all of that here. This includes running and swimming. He continues, This test is only an evaluation test. Your full course won't end based on this alone, and the rankings won't matter that much. But the important part is this. Any trainee who finishes in the top 5 will receive an award directly from the swordmaster. That should be more than enough motivation for you to work hard. He adds, 10 days from now, exactly at 9 a.m., your test will begin. So prepare yourselves. For the next 10 days, there will be no classes. You have complete freedom to prepare on your own. After that, we see an outside scene. Liad's friend asks him, Are you ready for the test? Another friend replies, Of course. Liad is very well prepared. Liad thinks to himself, Among all these people, Elia, Judith, and a few others, there aren't many who are real competition for me. Even if I exclude Elia and Judith, I'll easily make it into the top 5. So there's not much risk for me. But still, I don't know why. There's no real reason to be tense. Yet this guy Aaron really bothers me. In the past few months, he's improved a lot. But still, there's nothing to be afraid of. Then we see Judith practicing. She says, "Today, I set another new record. I think that's enough training for today." She notices Aaron nearby. Aaron is training with his full potential. Judith thinks, for the past few days, he's been training without holding back at all. It's obvious that since the day he joined until now, his physical abilities have improved massively. The thing I like the most about Aaron is this: he pushes himself to his absolute limits. Even when he's exhausted, he doesn't stop. Thinking this, Judith says to herself, if even the so-called lazy noble can work this hard, why can't I? I'll push myself to my limits too. The scene then shifts. We see an instructor talking to someone and saying, "This time, there are a total of 30 participants in the competition. The person listening is the swordsmanship master from the Chrono School. His name is Ian." Ian replies, "30 is a very good number." The instructor asks, "Master, why did you come here personally this time?" Ian answers, "I thought it would be better to see things with my own eyes instead of hearing about them from others." Then he jokes with the instructor and says, "I heard you're from the Edan Kingdom." The instructor replies politely, "Yes, master." "It's an honor to meet you." Ian whispers and asks, "How old do you think I am?" The instructor says, "You look around 52. Ian laughs and says, "You're really good at flattering people. All right, I'll double your salary." We then find out that Ian is actually 90 years old. Ian says, "By the way, this year's trainees are very different from last year. It looks like you all worked really hard training them." The instructor points at a girl and says, "That girl over there, her name is Iana. She's from the Lin Swordman family. She's a complete genius. She has always ranked first everywhere. From the start until now, her results have been excellent, and she's built a strong reputation here." Ian says, "That girl is a bit strange. She could have chosen her own path, but she's walking the same road as everyone else. She could leave this place if she wanted." Then the instructor points to another girl and says, "And that red-haired girl, I told you about her." Ian replies, "Looking at her, it feels like she's overdoing it. You should try to stop her." The instructor says, "We've tried many times, but she doesn't listen. She probably won't stop until she's satisfied." Ian says, "You really should stop her. If she keeps this up, she'll waste her abilities. There must be some reason behind her actions. I'll go talk to her myself." Ian talks to Judith briefly, then comes back. It looks like Judith didn't listen to him either. The instructor asks, "What happened, master?" Ian replies, "She's still just a child. She said she won't stop training unless someone gives her a valid reason." Then Ian asks, "Where is Aaron Periara?" "He's the one I want to see the most." The instructor replies, "He's been deadlifting for almost 30 minutes. He's been pushing his limits the entire time." Ian says, "Let him continue. Don't stop him unless he stops himself. It's better for him to test his limits. That boy has perfect control of his body through his mind." Later, we see that Aaron's training is finally over. He lies on his bed and thinks, "A lot of strange things have happened in the past few months. The people who used to mock me and ignore me are now very cautious around me. It feels really weird. And Elia, why is she helping me so much? She doesn't seem like someone who helps others without a reason. Whatever. There's no point thinking about it. I should get some rest." Aaron falls asleep. In his dream, he sees his mother again and returns to his past, the time when he never left his bed and slept all day. He looks at his mother and thinks, "I know this isn't my real mother, but she feels exactly like her." His mother says, "Stay here forever. Never leave me." Then Aaron notices a bright light. As he looks toward it, he sees a huge sword. The person holding the sword is the same swordsman he saw in his earlier dream. As Aaron moves toward the swordsman, his mother tries to stop him, but Aaron breaks free and says, "Mom, thank you for everything." Then he runs toward the swordsman, shouting, "I have to leave this place." This dream represents Aaron's transformation, leaving his early stage behind and moving toward a new one. Suddenly, Aaron wakes up. He feels a strange energy flowing through his body. The energy is extremely strong, like smoke rising from him. Everyone around him is shocked, seeing this energy being released. They assume he trained all night. Liad thinks, Judith has trained so hard these past few days that her condition has worsened. So she's not much of a tough competitor anymore. As long as I don't push myself too hard, I'll secure second place. Elia looks at Aaron too and notices a big change in him. The instructor announces, It's currently 8:55 a.m. I'll now explain the rules of your evaluation test. This course has 4 stages. Each stage will have 1 instructor with you. Once you exceed the target goal, you can move to the next location. This is an absolute evaluation test. You must show how much you've developed and how much you've grown. He tells everyone to get ready, and the course begins. The first stage is push-ups. Elia moves extremely fast. Seeing this, Liad is shocked and thinks, I can't match Elia's speed, no matter how much I train. But apart from her, my chances of winning are still high. Then he notices Aaron. Aaron is doing push-ups at incredible speed. Liad is shocked and says, Why isn't he exhausted yet? I thought he wouldn't perform well today. Soon, Elia clears stage 1. Liad is shocked again. How did she finish so fast? Then, it's revealed that Aaron Pereira has also cleared stage 1. Liad keeps thinking, how did this even happen? How did Aaron clear it so fast? Then he tells himself, I shouldn't focus on him. I should focus on myself. Looking at Aaron's body, I don't think he can last much longer anyway. After that, we learn that the second stage is box jumps. Aaron clears this stage very smoothly. He thinks to himself, I don't know why, but my body feels really hot today. It doesn't feel like I'm overdoing it at all. It feels like my body is used to this. Everything is supporting me today. I don't feel stressed or burned out. Then he keeps telling himself, I need to go faster. I need to go even faster. Suddenly, the instructor announces, Aaron Pereira has cleared the second stage. At this point, Aaron has already passed the second stage, while Liad hasn't even cleared the first stage yet. Judith is still struggling on the first stage, trying her best to clear it. Aaron moves on to the third stage, which is long-distance running. Right now, only Elia is ahead of him. Everyone else is behind Aaron. Elia thinks to herself, what's gotten into Aaron today? How is he moving this fast? As we watch Aaron, he suddenly feels something strange inside his body, but he pushes himself and says, I have to surpass Elia. He runs with everything he has, trying to move ahead of her. Just then, Judith suddenly overtakes both Elia and Aaron. Judith thinks to herself, I can't lose. I will never lose. I have to overdo it if I have to. It was already so difficult for me to reach this stage. She remembers all the things people say about her, and those thoughts give her even more motivation. She tells herself, I worked incredibly hard to get here. This is a place where even powerful nobles struggle to enter. I earned my place here. I can't stop now. Judith clears the third stage and moves on to the fourth stage, which is long-distance swimming. Suddenly, Judith realizes that her body has reached its absolute limit. She understands that she can't push herself any further. At the same time, Elia overtakes her. Judith can no longer continue. She starts losing consciousness and begins to sink underwater. In the next scene, we see that Aaron has pulled Judith out of the water. He holds her and brings her towards safety. As Judith slowly regains consciousness, she realizes that the one who saved her is Aaron. She's completely shocked. We see that Aaron has abandoned his own race to help Judith. Still half conscious, Judith says to him, What are you doing? You're really annoying. Why aren't you finishing your race? Aaron replies, Be quiet. We're almost there. Aaron safely brings Judith out of the water. He asks her, Judith, are you okay now? At that moment, an instructor runs over and says, Leave Judith to me. Go and finish your race. Aaron quickly leaves. The instructor urges him, Hurry up and go. Judith, still barely conscious, looks at Aaron and mutters, "What a complete idiot." Later, we see the evening scene. The race has ended. Many trainees couldn't finish and look very disappointed. An instructor approaches them and says, "Why are you getting discouraged so quickly? You still have more chances. If you improve yourselves by the second evaluation round, you still have a chance to survive. Don't lower your standards already. There's still a lot of evaluation left. The faster you improve yourselves, the higher your survival chances will be." Hearing this, the trainees feel relieved and happy that they still have a chance. The instructor thinks, as expected, many candidates couldn't perform well in the first evaluation test. But still, this year's results are much better than last time. Another instructor agrees and says, "You're right. There's definitely something different this year. These candidates are really good. Some of them are naturally talented, and many delivered outstanding performances." Then he adds, "Our hero of the day, Aaron, ranked 34th out of 35 successful candidates. I really don't understand why he did what he did in the evaluation. He could have secured a much higher rank. Did he do all this just to look like a good guy?" Now we see Leod standing with his teammates. One of his friends says, "I got 5th rank." Just then, Leod walks up and says, "Congrats, Lenz." Lenz replies, "Sir Leod, this is all because of your guidance. That's why I reached 5th rank." Leod shakes his head and says, "No, I didn't do anything. This is because of your hard work. You earned this rank yourself." But inside, Leod is thinking, "I got 2nd place, but honestly, I shouldn't have even gotten that. After seeing Arn's performance today, I'm completely shocked. His level has gone way up, and I can never reach his level. If the incident with Judith hadn't happened, I would have probably come 4th, because Aaron and Judith would have been above me. I admit it. Today's competition was my complete defeat. And with that, today's episode ends. The next day begins. We see Aaron practicing on the ground. He's running. Just then, Alia approaches him and asks, "Why did you do that?" Aaron replies, "Do what?" "What are you talking about?" Elia says, "You know exactly what I'm talking about. Tell me what you did and why you did it." Aaron asks, "Are you talking about Judith? About how I rescued her?" Elia replies, "Yes, I'm talking about Judith." "Why did you do that?" Aaron says calmly, "I just felt like I had to save her. So I went and saved her." Elia gets frustrated and says, "Do you even realize how stupid that sounds? If you hadn't gone to save her, there were plenty of instructors there who would have rescued her anyway. You could have gotten a much better reward. You could have had a personal interaction with one of the continent's greatest swordmasters and received a special reward. But you threw all of that away just because of your stupidity. And the people who always mocked you, who kept bullying you, they'll start doing it again. You had the perfect chance to answer all of them, but you wasted it." Aaron looks at her and says, "So what you're saying is, people will keep calling me the lazy noble, just like before?" Then Aaron continues, "For a very long time, I felt like I was stuck in a place I could never escape from. I stayed trapped there for so long. I didn't even try to get out. That version of me was pathetic. But because of my family's love, I managed to escape that place. And with help from many people, I reached this stage. Just being here today is already a big deal for me. And it wouldn't have been possible if no one had helped me. So when I saw Judith drowning, I felt like I had to help her. That's why I saved her. There's no other reason." Ilya gets angry and starts walking away, saying, "I told you before, didn't I? You've never practiced swordsmanship in your life." Aaron replies, "Yes." Ilya says, "Physical training and swordsmanship are completely different things. Both need hard work and effort, but skill is the most important factor. If you're talking about sword training, effort alone isn't enough. If you had made it to the top 5, you would have received personal guidance from the swordmaster. And you threw that chance away yourself? So stay like this. You lost a huge opportunity. And from now on, even I won't help you. If people laugh at you again, I don't care anymore. I don't think you should regret it either, because this was your own mistake. As Elia starts to leave, Aaron stops her and asks, Elia, tell me one thing. Why did you help me in the beginning? Elia pauses and says, I don't know. Maybe because I don't like it when people talk badly about someone, or tease them, or bully them. That's why I helped you. The scene shifts to the classroom. The instructor announces, I'm going to announce this year's midterm evaluation results. 35 people passed the first evaluation. 78 passed the second. That makes a total of 113 successful candidates. For the first evaluation, the top 5 preliminary trainees will receive a reward. That reward is a private meeting with the swordmaster. Just then, the swordmaster whispers to an instructor, Don't you think you're missing something? The instructor nods and announces, Preliminary trainee number 311, Arin Periara, please come to the podium. Everyone is shocked. Why is Arin being called? The instructor continues, Competition is exciting, but chasing it comes with struggle. You focus so much on getting ahead that you forget what's happening around you. You stop noticing what you should actually be doing. But trainee Aaron did not do that. He sacrificed himself in a situation where he could have lost everything. He gave up his own race to save a drowning classmate. That's why we believe Aaron deserves the same respect as the top 5. You may think differently, but we instructors believe Aaron is worthy of praise. So, Arin Periara will receive the same reward as the top 5 trainees. Everyone starts clapping. Aaron looks quietly happy. Now we see the private meetings begin. Leod meets the swordmaster first. Leod says, I think I understand now. I was being narrow-minded before, and that caused me problems. The swordmaster replies, There's no need to put yourself down. A truly narrow-minded person never admits their mistakes. Leod says, I think I was acting arrogantly, only trusting my own methods. But after your advice, I'll try to stay more open-minded. I'll learn from wherever I can. He thanks the swordmaster and leaves. The swordmaster thinks, he has great talent. He acknowledges his situation. He's committed and can overcome his weaknesses. He also has leadership potential. He's still a bit childish for a high-ranking noble, but that will fade with time. In any other year, he might have taken first place. But this year, Elia was the reason he couldn't. Now, Elia enters. She says, As my reward, I want your personal guidance. The swordmaster replies, All right, I'll give you some advice. Don't get offended. I feel like you shape your life based on others. You're not living for yourself. I think you're wasting your time here. You could return home, stay with your family, and learn your family's sword techniques. That would help you more. Elia snaps angrily. I asked for guidance, not this useless nonsense. The swordmaster sighs. That was my mistake. I thought you'd listen. Since you won't, my only advice is this: train harder to maintain your status. Finally, it's Aaron's turn. The swordmaster asks, Is there any reward you want? It doesn't have to be physical. You can ask me anything. Inside, the swordmaster thinks, I'm very interested in his answer. Arin asks, How do I reconcile with someone? How do I live together with others? How do I build bonds? Then he adds, I know this sounds like a useless request. I'm really sorry. I don't know what else to ask. The swordmaster smiles and says, You don't need to apologize. I should thank you for being honest. He thinks to himself. This boy stayed in his room for 15 years. This is his first real social experience. It's natural for him to be confused. It seems like something went wrong between him and someone. That's why he asked this. Question. The swordmaster says, "All right. First, tell me exactly what happened." After some time, we see Aaron saying, "Thank you, swordmaster. This conversation really helped me." That means Aaron told him everything about Aaliyah. The swordmaster replies, "I'm glad I could help. It's been a long time since I gave advice about something other than swords. My life has been all about swords for so long." After that, the swordmaster starts thinking to himself. He feels confused about Ilya. He never really understood why Ilya helped Aaron in the first place, or why she suddenly started treating him differently. Honestly, everything happening right now feels beyond his understanding. Then, the swordmaster speaks to Aaron and says, "All right, let's stop talking about Ilya for now, and move on to the main topic." Aaron looks confused and asks, "Main topic? What main topic?" The swordmaster says, "I feel like giving you just a small reward isn't enough. You need much more than that. To be specific, I want to teach you swordsmanship myself." He continues, "My advice about the sword will be extremely valuable for you. You can ask me anything you want." Aaron replies nervously, "Sorry, sir, but I honestly don't know what I should ask. I really have no idea. To be honest, I only started holding a sword about a month before I joined this academy, so I don't even know what kind of sword-related questions I should ask." He looks embarrassed and says, "It's really embarrassing that I'm sitting in front of you, and I still can't ask anything or make proper use of your knowledge. I don't know what I should do." He keeps mumbling, "I really don't know what to do. I'm really sorry. It feels like I'm wasting your time." At that moment, the swordmaster interrupts him and says, "Why are you apologizing so much? Don't say sorry so easily. You are a swordsman. You must stand strong in every situation. Do you understand what I'm saying?" Aaron nods and replies, "Yes, sir. I understand." As the swordmaster starts leaving, he says, "All right then. I'm postponing your reward. You can claim it whenever you feel ready. Your reward isn't canceled." He adds, "Whenever you feel like you need me, I'll be there to teach you." That should be fine, right? Aaron replies politely, "Yes, sir." "Thank you," the swordmaster tells him. "All right, you can go now." As Aaron leaves, the swordmaster thinks to himself, "What a special child. I don't know why, but I keep feeling that this boy is different. He doesn't feel normal at all. There's definitely something special about him, and we'll understand it with time." Even though he doesn't know much about swordsmanship, and it doesn't look like he can do much right now, he doesn't seem anxious or nervous at all. Instead, it feels like he already has a goal set in his mind. It almost feels like he's receiving help from somewhere, or someone. Then we see Aaron thinking about the person he often sees in his dreams. The swordmaster continues thinking, "Looking at Aaron reminds me of a special child I knew long ago. That child had incredible talent, strong confidence, and a very unpredictable personality, even though their aura levels are completely different. I don't know why, but Aaron reminds me of him." In the next scene, we see Aaron training again. Suddenly, Judith comes up behind him and says, "So you've started training again." She then adds, "From tomorrow, our sword training will officially begin. Don't you want to start swinging your sword already?" Aaron looks at her and asks, "Is everything okay? Are you all right?" Judith replies, "It's nothing serious. I just wanted to tell you something." Then she says, "Thank you." Aaron looks confused and asks, "For what?" Judith says, "I'll make sure I repay the favor you did for me." Aaron quickly replies, No, there's no need for that." Judith smiles and says, "Anyway, from now on, we'll stay together and practice together." Aaron gets shocked and says, "What?" Judith laughs and says, "Why are you reacting like that? I'm saying we'll stay together and train together. You always eat alone, stay alone. If someone stays with you, do you have a problem with that?" She adds, "From tomorrow, we'll also start sword training together." She lightly punches Aaron and tells him to respond properly. Aaron finally says, "Yeah, That actually sounds like a really good idea. Since Aaron isn't used to socializing, all of this feels strange to him. Judith then leaves and says, I won't interfere with your training today. Train properly. We'll start training together from tomorrow. Aaron thinks to himself, she's 3 years younger than me. But still, this feels really nice. Later, we see Judith and Aaron arrive at the sword arena to practice together. They're talking, and Leod and his friends notice them. One of Leod's friends says, is that really her? Hey Leod, why is she talking to Aaron? Did she go crazy after nearly drowning? But we see Aaron and Judith talking comfortably. Leod thinks to himself, the strangest thing here is that Ilya isn't with Aaron anymore. She used to train him all the time. Something must have happened between them. At that moment, an instructor arrives and says, everyone, pay attention. As you all know, from today onward, your sword training classes will begin. He continues, we'll also announce all your achievements from the last 4 months. So listen carefully, and we'll allow all of you to freely hold swords for the next 2 hours. You may use any wooden sword under the assistant's supervision. Judith picks up a sword and says, earlier, when I used to swing aggressively, balancing it was really difficult. The instructor thinks to himself, of course, we're here to increase stamina and strength. Leod also picks up a sword and says, even though it's just a wooden sword, my skills feel much stronger now. I feel like I've reached the point where I can sense it. Then we see Aaron walking toward the swords. He goes straight to the biggest wooden sword and lifts it. Seeing this, even the instructors look shocked. Aaron starts swinging the sword. Everyone notices that his sword swings aren't actually bad. He has good strength, but lacks proper technique. The instructor thinks his form is rough, but it's surprisingly close to a standard sword stance. One of Leod's friends says, I heard he never trained with a sword before. So how is he doing this well? Another friend replies, he's not that good. He's just trying to look cool. As everyone talks, Leod walks up to Aaron and says, Aaron Pereira, I challenge you to a one-on-one duel. Will you accept? Everyone is shocked. Aaron thinks for a moment, then says, all right, I accept your duel. As both prepare for the duel, an instructor rushes in and scolds them. What are you two doing? Formal sword classes haven't even started yet. Why are you dueling now? Another instructor wonders why Leod wants to duel Aaron. The instructor says, everything must follow order. But the swordmaster interrupts and says, sometimes exceptions are necessary. He then announces, this duel will happen here and now. You may begin your battle. If either of you is in danger, we will intervene. Understood? Both nod. The duel begins. Leod attacks aggressively, while Aaron focuses on defending. Somehow, Aaron manages to block his attacks. Leod attacks again, but Aaron struggles to counterattack. One of Leod's friends says, I thought this duel would end quickly, but Aaron is holding on longer than expected. Judith thinks to herself, Leod is testing Aaron, but why? Leod thinks, Aaron's reaction speed isn't bad, but his balance between himself and the sword is weak. His posture and movements are inefficient. He could become a great swordsman if he fixes these things, but right now, he's worse than I expected. Leod suddenly changes his attack and strikes Aaron's sword directly. Aaron's sword flies far away. The instructor announces, the duel ends here. Leod is the winner. Then the instructor says, all right, based on today's swordsmanship test, we've divided your classes. From tomorrow, your lessons will officially begin. Then the instructor announces the class divisions. Ilya, Brett, Leod, Judith, and 10 others will be in Class A. Since you all are in the top 10 list, your training will be much more difficult. Be prepared, compared to the other classes. After that, he divides Class B, which has a total of 35 students. Then he says that all the remaining trainees will be placed in Class C. Judith looks at Aaron and says, trust yourself, and trust me. At the same time, the instructor adds, the remaining 54 trainees I mentioned are in Class C. Judith suddenly realizes something and asks Aaron, I didn't hear your name among those 54. So which class are you in? Then the instructor announces, the last person, Aaron Pereira, will be in Class F. The scene ends there. In the next scene, Judith is walking with Aaron and says angrily, that Brett Leod is seriously so annoying. I know he was trying to use you. That's why he wanted to show himself as superior and test your power. It was obvious from his face how satisfied he was after defeating you. He wanted to discourage you, but don't get discouraged at all. In the final evaluation, we'll beat him properly. He's not that amazing, just really annoying. I seriously can't stand him. Aaron doesn't reply and just keeps looking at Judith. Annoyed, Judith says, what's wrong with you? Why are you staring at me like that? Aaron replies calmly, don't get so angry. I'm really grateful that you're concerned about me, but I don't want you getting angry because of me. You don't need to worry so much. Judith suddenly gets embarrassed and says, who said I'm worried about you? In the next scene, we see Brett Leod lying in his room, thinking, when I was fighting Aaron, he dodged my attacks really easily. I probably won only because of his inefficient movements. His movements, the expression in his eyes, they were really strong. He just needs a little more training. His focus is actually very good. He can concentrate easily and very deeply. Then he starts wondering, when I swing my sword, what kind of expression do I have on my face? The scene fades out. Next, we see an instructor teaching Aaron and saying, do you only know vertical and horizontal slashes? Don't you know any other moves? Aaron replies honestly, yes, I don't know anything else. The instructor says, that's fine. There's no need to worry. You haven't learned these things before, so we don't expect you to be good immediately. All right, I'll ask you something. We learn that this instructor is the temporary instructor of Class F, and his name is Run Tarl. He asks Aaron, what do you think is the most important thing you must have when you start sword practice after so much training? Aaron answers, I think hard work. The instructor says, no, it's talent. Of course, hard work is important too, but depending on the individual, they need to focus on what helps them improve the most. That's why talent plays a huge role. But since you did nothing for 15 years, this doesn't apply to you. You need hard work more than anything. Then he says, you have 1 week. In 1 week, familiarize yourself with basic sword skills. If you learn the basics within a week, I'll immediately promote you to Class C. Aaron asks, what if I fail? The instructor replies, nothing changes. You'll continue training in Class F. Then he adds seriously, but remember this, if you don't even have enough talent to learn basic skills in 1 week, then in my opinion, you should leave the academy. Aaron replies firmly, no, I'll do my best. I will learn. As the instructor leaves, he says, I know you'll do well because you're going to give your best. Now we see Aaron's day 2 of training, and the instructor says, bend properly. You're putting too much strain on your shoulders. Try to reduce that. Then we see day 3, day 4, day 5, and day 6 of training. The instructor thinks, as the days pass, his speed is improving a lot. His ability to work hard is already impressive, but he's more different than he looks. He has a unique talent with the sword that we still need to recognize. In the next scene, Aaron is with Judith and says, Judith, can you tell me again? My test is tomorrow. Judith replies, I'm very strict during practice. If I feel you're not doing it properly, I'll hit you. Then they start practicing. Aaron asks, how was that? Judith gives him a thumbs up, showing that he's doing really well. The next day, we see the instructor sitting quietly when a recovery room instructor comes and says, oh, you're back from the recovery room. The instructor replies, yes. The other instructor says, so that means Aaron has been promoted to Class C and has passed the Rank F test. In the next scene, we see Judith at the dining table, eating very fast, and she says to Aaron, eat properly. Nutrition is extremely important. If you're training this much and moving so much, you need to eat a lot more. They continue eating loudly. Behind them, Leod and his friend walk past, and his friend says, "It looks like a hippo came here." Judith turns around and says, "Hey, I think you have a crush on me. You're always staring at me." The guy gets shocked and says, "What nonsense are you talking about?" Judith keeps teasing him. "What happened? Why did you suddenly go quiet? What happened? Why did you suddenly go quiet?" The guy gets angry, and Leod then says, "Lens, stop this nonsense and come with me. Talking badly about others won't benefit you. It's better to work on yourself. Now let's go." They leave with Leod. Judith looks at Aaron and says, "When did that brat Leod become so decent? He wasn't this good before." Then Ilya walks toward their table, and Judith says to Aaron, "You and Ilya don't talk at all these days. Did something happen between you two?" Aaron replies, "No, nothing like that." Then Aaron says, "Since you and Ilya are in the same class, Section A, you must have become friends. Can you tell me how Ilya's class is going?" Judith replies teasingly, "If you two didn't fight, why don't you go and ask Ilya yourself?" Then she laughs and says, "All right, I was just joking. I was enjoying teasing you." "You looked really frustrated." She continues, "Well, nothing much has changed. Ilya is still at the top of her class. The instructors praise her talent a lot, but I feel everyone feels inferior around her. The atmosphere is different, and no one even tries to approach her because everyone knows they can't match her. I also heard that one evening she went alone to the Saiyan armory and practiced her family's vision swordsmanship. But forget all that. Focus on practicing as much as possible so you can reach Section A quickly and then practice with Ilya yourself." Aaron says, "Stop making fun of me." The scene ends there. In the next scene, we see Aaron practicing again, and Judith says, "So, should we start?" They begin fighting each other. From behind, Leod watches them and thinks, as expected, Judith attacks with full focus, which makes her attacks extremely difficult. That level is crazy. Aaron blocks her attacks well, using vertical slashes and proper defense. Judith is impressed, teaches him how to hold the sword properly and how to attack, then suddenly launches a fast attack and knocks Aaron backward, saying, "You've improved a lot, you've grown so much, but you're still not at my level yet, so you need to work harder." Then she says, "That's enough for today." Aaron asks, "It's over already?" She replies, "Look how late it is. It's already evening, and no one else is training anymore." As she leaves, Judith says, "By the way, if you go to the armory section now, you might find Ilya there alone, because she's probably practicing." Then Joth leaves from there, and Aaron tells her to stop saying such things casually. After that, we see Ilya practicing alone. She's repeating the same sword techniques again and again. Just then, Aaron comes from behind and calls her name. Ilya turns around and asks, "What do you want?" Aaron says he came to give her something. We see that he's holding a letter and a small gift. He explains that he got this from home. Ilya asks, "Why are you giving this to me?" Aaron tells her that he has a younger sister who is not very good at socializing. Because of some misunderstandings, they had a big fight. The next day, his sister left him a letter and a gift. He says that he himself is also bad at expressing his feelings, so instead of speaking directly, he decided to write a letter. That's why he brought a letter and a gift for Ilya. Ilya coldly asks, "Do you think doing all this will make me help you again?" Aaron replies, "No, that's not what I want." He apologizes for interrupting her training and leaves quietly. In the evening, we see Ilya reading Aaron's letter. She calls him childish, but when she opens the gift, she finds a bracelet inside. As soon as she sees the bracelet, her expression suddenly changes. She looks shocked and confused. We don't know why, but that bracelet clearly means something to her. She softly says that maybe she got too emotionally attached. The scene ends there. In the next scene, Judith and Aaron are training again. Judith tells him that today they'll increase the intensity. Aaron says she doesn't need to go that hard. Just then, Lloyd arrives. Judith sarcastically asks if the blue-haired guy is here to fight again. Lloyd says no. He says he came to talk and wants Aaron to listen too. Lloyd announces that he wants to train Aaron regularly from now on. He says that during the midterm evaluation and their last fight, he noticed Aaron's deep concentration ability. He wants to learn that from Aaron, and in return, he'll teach Aaron proper sword techniques. He says they can help cover each other's weaknesses and grow together. Judith gets angry and questions his intentions. She asks if Lloyd is just using Aaron for his own benefit. Lloyd openly admits that yes, he is using Aaron, but he says there's nothing wrong with it. Aaron can use him too. It's mutual growth. He explains that learning doesn't only come from swords, but also from experiences and opportunities. That's why he wants to compete, learn, and gain experience. Other students start whispering, wondering why a Class A student is talking to a Class C student. Aaron hesitates and says that he's far weaker than Lloyd, and wonders if Lloyd can really learn anything from him. Lloyd replies that Aaron has something he doesn't: unwavering concentration. No matter how long the training lasts, Aaron's focus never breaks. When Lloyd asks how Aaron manages to stay so focused, Aaron says he honestly doesn't know. Lloyd smiles and says that's exactly what he expected. He calls Aaron a genius. Aaron denies it, but Lloyd tells him that maintaining such concentration is not something ordinary people can do. Before leaving, Lloyd gives Aaron advice. He tells him to stop underestimating himself. He reminds Aaron that he belongs to a noble family and should carry himself with pride. Later, we see Lloyd training Aaron and correcting his posture, hand movement, and balance. He demonstrates the correct technique himself. Lloyd then asks Judith if she wants to duel. She refuses. Lloyd jokingly asks Aaron how long it'll take for her to agree, and Aaron says probably a week. At the dining table, Ilya suddenly approaches Aaron and tells him that she read his letter. Judith immediately teases Aaron, asking if he confessed his feelings. Aaron panics and says it's nothing like that. That scene ends. At night, Aaron lies on his bed, thinking about concentration and Lloyd's words. He wonders how he can improve it further. He thinks about the mysterious man from his dreams and wonders if he'll ever reach that level. He falls asleep and enters the dream again. This time, he can feel his entire body, not just his hands. When he wakes up in the middle of the night, the sensations are still there. Before they disappear, he rushes out to practice swordsmanship. The next day, Judith notices how sleepy Aaron looks and asks what he was doing at night. We already know he was secretly training. Later, Lloyd and Judith are dueling, joking while fighting. Meanwhile, Aaron falls asleep on the side. Judith scolds him, but Lloyd tells her to let him rest. He must be exhausted. And that's where the scene ends. Aaron starts practicing with his sword again, and after training for a short while, he falls asleep once more. Everyone around is shocked, wondering what Aaron is even doing. Just then, Lloyd comes up to Aaron and says sorry for interrupting. He asks him what exactly he's trying to do. Aaron explains that he's training to improve his concentration. He says he's not sure if it's working or what the results will be, but he's still trying. Lloyd says, "Oh, this sounds like meditation training. I've heard priests train like this to look inside themselves. Maybe what you're doing is something similar." Aaron replies that, yeah, it might be something like that. Lloyd then decides to try it himself. He lies down and says he'll sleep here too. Slowly, he actually falls asleep. After a long time, his companions wake him up and say, "Sir, it looked like you were sleeping." Lloyd quickly responds, "No, I wasn't sleeping. I was meditating." Someone from behind jokes, "Then how were you meditating while snoring?" Lloyd wipes his mouth, sits properly, and says maybe the position wasn't the problem, but his posture was wrong. He thinks he needs to sit upright to do it properly. Joth comes over angrily and calls him an idiot. She says this won't benefit him at all. Aaron's case is special. Maybe it works for Aaron, but Lloyd is just wasting time. Lloyd replies that until she tries it herself, she can't say anything. He says he'll continue trying. That scene ends. In the next scene, we see the swordmaster. He asks if nothing special has happened lately. The instructor replies that nothing major happened, but Aaron Periara has been promoted again. With help from Lloyd and Judith, He's growing very fast, and might even reach Class A soon. The instructor also says that the swordmaster was right. Lloyd from Class A has improved a lot, and is slowly getting better and better. In the next scene, Lloyd and Judith are battling, and Lloyd defeats her. Judith gets angry, and says she wants one more match to show him. The instructor calms her down, and tells her not to show so much aggression. After class, Judith challenges Lloyd to another duel. Lloyd agrees easily. The instructor thinks to himself how amazing these kids are, especially Lloyd. He's improved a lot, and now the gap between Lloyd and Judith for second place is very small. Lloyd thinks to himself that he can clearly see his own progress. If he keeps improving, he'll go far. But then he looks at Ilya and says that she's still his biggest competitor. In the next scene, we see Aaron practicing with his sword. He thinks to himself that he's grateful for meditation training because it's made him much better, but it's still not enough. He needs to push himself further. Just then, Lloyd and Judith arrive. Lloyd points out that Aaron is using the vertical slash too much lately. He says the swordmaster called everyone to gather, so they can talk later. Aaron asks if they're going to the auditorium. Lloyd says no, they're heading to the martial arts arena. Aaron is shocked to hear that. At the arena, the swordmaster addresses everyone. He says it's been 9 months since they joined the academy. Based on their training and evaluations, many students have improved a lot. He then announces that it's time for the final assessment. Everyone is shocked. He explains that this won't be like the midterm tests. They'll be given fixed time and rounds, and the evaluation will be abstract. The final evaluation will be based on potential ability, not just current strength. He tells them not to worry. They just need to show what they're best at, their strongest sword skills. They can use any method they want, a lethal strike, a new sword technique, or anything they believe represents their strength. This will be their final assessment. He says the final test will begin after 90 days, giving them time to train at their best. Then he says he has prepared a gift for them. He draws his sword and reveals the legendary Old Man Sword Dance, a very rare technique. He performs it, demonstrating countless sword techniques. The view is breathtaking, and everyone is completely stunned. After finishing the sword dance, he wishes everyone good luck and leaves. All the students are left speechless, wondering what they just witnessed. In the next scene, Judith and Lloyd return, completely exhausted. Lloyd says the swordmaster's sword dance was truly amazing. Judith doesn't reply. Lloyd complains that he's talking to her, not a wall. Judith suddenly snaps and tells him to stop talking nonsense. Lloyd notices she's in a bad mood and guesses it's because of Aaron. Judith denies it and asks why he suddenly brought Aaron into the conversation. She says Aaron is fully focused on meditation without even worrying about the final evaluation. Lloyd calmly says, not to worry. Aaron will definitely pass. Judith angrily asks how he knows that. Lloyd reminds her that the final evaluation is based on potential ability, not current strength. He explains that the test is about future growth. Whoever shows the greatest potential and growth over 9 months will pass. That person is Aaron. He tells Judith to stop worrying about Aaron and focus on herself. Judith snaps back, asking who said she was worried about Aaron. In the next scene, Judith resumes training and says she can finally train peacefully now. She confidently declares that she'll take first place. Lloyd immediately says, that's impossible. Ilya will take first place. Judith gets angry and asks why he keeps bringing Ilya up. Lloyd explains that Ilya comes from the greatest family on the continent, and her swordsmanship is an elite, prestigious family style. Judith angrily argues that family background doesn't decide rankings. Lloyd says she can't ignore the power of Ilya's swordsmanship style. Judith fires back, saying if first place is already decided, why even train so hard? She reminds him that Ilya's brother, once called the greatest genius, was defeated by a common orphan. He couldn't even stand up to him. So, what's so special now? Lloyd suddenly goes quiet. Judith says, what? Why did you get silent all of a sudden? They both turn around and see Ilya standing behind them. They freeze, totally shocked. Ilya says coldly, it doesn't matter to me what you say about me, or what you say about my family. I already know people talk trash behind my back. So, if you think it affects me, it doesn't. Not even a little. Judith steps forward. If you're that confident, pick up your sword. Come fight me. Lloyd grabs her arm. Stop this nonsense. If trainees argue here, we'll get kicked out. Elia turns and starts walking away. This time, too, I'm taking first place. And it'll keep happening. I don't even need my family technique to take first. What I learned at this school is enough. To beat people like you. As Elia walks. Off. Lloyd follows her. He says, Sky Sword. The Lindsay family sword style. That's the name, right? And the demon who ruled the skies for 400 years? He's the one who gave that technique, right? Elia stares. What are you even saying? Lloyd says, I've always wanted to see how great that technique really is. Elia replies, That's never going to happen. Lloyd smirks. Then that's a real shame. If you won't show me the Sky Sword style, I'll take first place instead of you. Next scene. Aaron is practicing alone, but the more he trains, the more frustrated he gets. No, I can't do it. I thought I was getting closer to him, but I was wrong. I'm not close at all. Ever since he started appearing in my dreams, I thought I was slowly catching up. But maybe I need to focus again. So Aaron sits down and starts meditating again. Then an idea hits him. Wait, wouldn't it be better if I meditate while holding a sword? Because those sensations, if I feel them while the sword is in my hands, maybe something will finally click. And he starts meditating with the sword in his hands. We see Lloyd watching his two teammates spar. They're training seriously. One of them wins the bout. Lloyd nods. Nice work. You've been training hard. He looks closer and adds, Your breathing is steadier than before. That means your technique has evolved. The teammate says, The final evaluation is coming. But more importantly, after what you said to Elia that day, we were really affected by it. It motivated us. So, we've been training even harder. Just then, Judith shows up. She says, Stop making those disgusting faces. I feel like throwing up just looking at you. Then she turns to Lloyd. Pick up your sword. And the duel between Judith and Lloyd begins. They clash hard, both of them, giving each other a real fight. Judith thinks to herself, He's gotten faster. And she keeps attacking. This isn't just sharper. His strength has increased too. Maybe he really wants to surpass Elia. And take first place. That's why he's pushing himself like this. And honestly, with his current skill, I can't beat him right now. But today, he taught me something. If I want to win, I need to raise my goals even higher. I need bigger goals. And this time, I won't get hot-headed. I'll stay calm. Their fight hasn't even fully ended yet. When Lloyd suddenly stops, he says, That's enough for today. We shouldn't overdo it. The evaluation is really close. So it's better to practice less. But practice properly. Lloyd asks her, By the way, what happened? Today you didn't get mad at me at all. Usually you'd be yelling by now. Judith replies, I've got something to do, so I'm leaving. And if I tell you, you might take it personally like a little kid. Then she walks off. Lloyd watches her go and thinks, I've definitely gotten stronger. And maybe it's not impossible anymore. I can reach Elia's level. I think I can beat her. Then his expression hardens. And Aaron? I can handle you easily now too. You're not a problem for me anymore. Next scene. Aaron. He's training. Frustrated. I even tried changing my stance. But nothing's different. I seriously don't know what I'm supposed to do anymore. Then Judith appears. She says, What's wrong? You look stiff. Forget practice for now. Come on, let's go outside and get some fresh air. Outside, we see Elia, and she notices Judith and Aaron. Judith and Aaron sit and talk. Judith says, "Relax. We're allowed to be here. If someone tells us to leave, we'll deal with it. Otherwise, it's fine." Then she asks, "Are you ready?" Aaron blinks. "Ready for what?" Judith says, "The final evaluation is in less than 15 days. Aaron reacts instantly. "Oh, then I need to keep practicing. I need to do my best." Judith frowns. "That's a weak answer." Then Aaron asks, "What about you? How's your preparation? Are you confident?" Judith grins. "Of course. I'm going to try my best." "And you know the crazy part? This time, I'm fully confident." Then she adds, "Anyway, you should ask Elia something. Why is Lloyd so confident he'll win?" Judith suddenly says, "Also, sorry." Aaron looks confused. "For what?" Judith says, "Lately, I haven't been giving you much time. I've been too busy training." Aaron shakes his head. No, don't apologize. You don't need to feel sorry." Judith takes a breath. "I've been an orphan since I was little." Aaron. "What?" She quickly says, "I'm not telling you to make you feel bad. I'm just telling you. When I was small, my only motivation was surviving. I stole. From shops, from people's pockets, anything. As long as I stayed alive. And when I started looking around, I realized everyone does it, no matter how old they are. Back then, I never felt grateful to anyone. I never thought I should be thankful. So the day you saved me, I should have said thank you right then. But instead, I got angry at you. Honestly, it feels weird even saying this now, but I tried my best to repay you for what you did. And still, I feel like I failed. I couldn't do it properly. So, you do your best, okay? In the final exam, work hard, get a good result, pass, become a full-time trainee. I'll still support you, and I'll train you as much as I can." Aaron looks at her, genuinely happy. "Okay." Judith quickly turns away. Then she mutters to herself, "If I stay with him any longer, I'm going to get too embarrassed." And she walks off fast. Aaron watches her go and thinks, "Judith, you don't need to feel sorry. I think in the last 2 months, I drifted away from you because I was obsessed with practice. I've changed a lot. Before, I spent 15 years lying in bed, but now I'm looking up at the sky. This year at the academy, it's been good. I feel like I understand myself better now. My thoughts, my feelings, I'm finally realizing them. I'm grateful to everyone who helped me. Judith, Lloyd, Elia, the swordmaster, the instructors, all of them. I have to repay them. For everything they did, I'll give it back someday. And now, I finally realize where I was stuck. Meditation is training the mind. So I need to understand my mind's stillness. I need to draw strength from inside myself, or I'll never get anywhere." And as he's thinking that, the scene cuts. 2 weeks later, the instructor announces, "The final evaluation starts now." We see many trainees performing. Each one shows different techniques, in front of the spectators and the instructors. The swordmaster says, "Wow, their speed and accuracy are excellent." The instructors reply, "Yeah." This time, a lot of trainees from the lower classes have grown fast. The final rankings are going to change a lot. More trainees perform. One steps up, and with a clean diagonal slash, he cuts through a stone perfectly. The instructor says, everyone is performing beyond my expectations. The instructor says, everyone's doing great, but honestly, it still feels a little underwhelming. Then he announces, all right, next trainee, Judith. He calls Judith forward. Judith steps out and asks the swordmaster, sir, can trainees do their assessment together? The swordmaster looks confused. What do you mean? Judith says, I feel like when we fight together, our strength shows better. We'll look more powerful, more capable. And my partner already agreed. The swordmaster smiles a little. That actually sounds interesting. So who's your partner? Judith says, Brett Lloyd. Lloyd walks out too. He looks at Judith. Hey Judy, you ready? Judith answers. Yeah, but I wanted a moment to set my focus. Guess it didn't go exactly like I planned. But today, I will surpass you. Lloyd shrugs. Do whatever you want. I don't care. Just show your performance. And the battle begins. Everyone watching is shocked because they're fighting like crazy. Both of them are matching each other perfectly. It feels like either one could dominate at any second. Judith suddenly throws a super fast strike, and for a moment, it overwhelms Lloyd. People gasp. Whoa, that was insanely fast. Lloyd counterattacks. But Judith blocks it easily, jumps up, and comes down with another strike. That move is called towards bottom. Even the instructor is stunned. He thinks, wow, Judith's swordsmanship got so much stronger. But Lloyd is also defending every attack cleanly. Both of them have become monsters. The fight keeps going. Sometimes Judith dominates. Sometimes Lloyd does. Then Lloyd says, You really thought you could surpass me that easily? He rushes in fast, and Judith blocks, shouting back, I'll get stronger. I'll get sharper. Their blades crash so hard, the whole arena fills with smoke. And when the smoke clears, Judith's sword is broken. She looks down and whispers, In the end, I couldn't surpass him. One instructor says, That match was insanely close. Another replies, Yeah, but Lloyd was just slightly superior. So, of course, Lord Lloyd is the winner. The swordmaster claps. Wow, that was magnificent. I really enjoyed that. Judith and Lloyd bow and thank him. Then the swordmaster turns to an instructor. Ahmad, who's next? Call them. Don't break the momentum. Ahmad nods. Next is Elia Lindsay. Elia walks forward thinking, I've become so much stronger. I'm not the same as before. Now, I can beat you. The swordmaster asks her, So what's your plan? What are you going to perform? Elia says, I'll demonstrate my family's swordsmanship. The swordmaster's eyes sharpen. The sky sword technique? The one that killed the demon dragon king? Elia says, Yes. She takes her stance and begins. As she moves, wind starts forming around her, and inside that wind, lightning crackles. It looks like a ritual. The wind grows stronger, spreading across the entire arena. Lightning flashes through it. Judith stares, shocked. What? Even is this technique? The instructors and swordmaster look excited. That's it. That technique, Elia finishes. Lloyd is stunned too, thinking, So this is it. I finally saw it. It's even more incredible than I imagined. Elia's turn ends. Then Judith says to Lloyd, Hey, now it's finally Aaron's turn. We see Aaron step forward, and Judith's cheering for him from behind. But Lloyd suddenly feels uneasy. I don't know why. I've got a really bad feeling. Aaron looks at Lloyd and says warmly, Lloyd, you're a really good person. When I'm around you, your aura feels bright and warm. I feel comfortable with you. Maybe that's why you have so many friends, so many followers. Lloyd frowns. Your performance is next. Why are you saying all this right now? Then he sighs. No, you're wrong. I'm not as good a person as you think. Aaron walks toward the arena. And Lloyd, in his head, keeps thinking something ugly. Aaron, please don't give an amazing performance. Please don't outperform me. Aaron reaches the center. The swordmaster asks him, So, Aaron Periara, what will you perform today? Aaron says calmly, I'll present the vertical slash. Everyone reacts weirdly. Like, seriously? From the back, Lloyd's friend snaps. Is this idiot out of his mind? Doesn't he know this is the final assessment? He really thinks a vertical slash will work here? Ahmad immediately shuts him down. Lens Peterson, this is your last warning. If you interfere again during the assessment, you'll be thrown out. Lens mutters, Sorry. But even the instructor thinks privately, Yeah, this is strange. It's the final assessment. And a simple vertical slash has no practical use at a stage this important. What was he even thinking? Doing this in front of everyone? What's going on in Aaron's head? Aaron steps forward, gripping his sword. He closes his eyes and stands completely still. The swordmaster calls out, almost mocking him. All right then, Aaron Periara. Show me who you are. You're the one who doesn't need my teaching, right? You're the one who acts totally indifferent to swordsmanship. Prove yourself. But Aaron stays calm, eyes still closed. Everyone's confused. Why is he just standing there? Even Lens, after getting scolded, hisses at the others. Just shut up already. Inside, Aaron is meditating. He thinks, steady my breathing, tense every muscle in my body, focus on one point. I'm going inside my mind. And then suddenly, he does. In his mind, that same man from his dreams appears. The man speaks to Aaron. I still don't understand who you are, or what you're trying to achieve, but you keep working endlessly. You've suffered so much, and yet you never slow down. Your willpower is harder than steel. That's enough. The man opens his eyes, and at the exact same moment, Aaron's eyes open too. Aaron swings, and the attack is insane. A massive aura bursts out. It looks like raw power exploding. Like that dream swordsman just handed Aaron his strength. Everyone watching is frozen in shock. How did Aaron do something this powerful? His slash is so strong, the entire arena gets split in half. A huge straight line is carved into the ground. The crowd can't even breathe. Judith looks toward Lloyd, and she notices he looks upset. Like he didn't like seeing Aaron shine, because yeah, Lloyd isn't happy about Aaron's growth. Meanwhile, the swordmaster is smiling. He looks genuinely pleased. And then the scene cuts. Next, it's time for the results. The swordmaster says, Sorry for making you all wait. The results you've been waiting for will be announced now. He adds, Yes, the final assessment was important. But it's not the only deciding factor for your official admission. You may still get another chance. You also have a final interview remaining. Then he starts announcing. Rankings from bottom to top. 66th place, Peter Nelson. 42nd place. And he keeps going. Finally, 4th place, Judith. 3rd place, Lord Lloyd. Then he pauses. 2nd place, Aaron Periara. And as usual, 1st place, Elia Lindsay. He says everyone worked hard, and they'll get final interview info soon. Until then, rest. Cut to the next scene. Elia walks into the training arena. She says, I know you're here. After the final assessment, everyone stopped practicing and started resting. But you're the only one still training. It's you, right, Aaron? Aaron is inside practicing. He turns. Oh, Hey, Elia, Elia says. You've gotten really strong. Lloyd and Judith are strong too. But it's been a long time since I found someone on my level. I wanted someone who could actually challenge me. But Lloyd and Judith couldn't fill that gap. But today, for the first time, I felt like someone gave me a real fight. I actually felt danger, like my first place position could be at risk. But still, it was fun. Your sword was honestly crazy. And that technique was really good. Aaron smiles. Your skill was crazy too. I had fun. Then Elia dropped something serious. Aaron, I'm not staying in the Chrono Swordsmanship Academy anymore. Aaron freezes. What? Why are you leaving? Elia tilts her head. Why are you reacting so shocked? Aaron quickly covers it. No, nothing. I just didn't expect it. Elia explains. I never planned to become an official trainee here. My plan was get first place in the midterm and first place in the final evaluation, then return to my family and leave this academy. Then she asks, Aaron, do you know who the greatest genius on this continent is? Aaron says, no, I don't. Elia says, Carl Lindsay. He's my brother. She continues, when I was 7, everyone on the continent knew his name. He was victorious. He defeated countless knights. He was unbeatable. And his talent was so ridiculous. It didn't even make sense for his age. Important people recognized him, and he quickly became known as the greatest genius swordsman on the continent. And even after all that, he refused to become an official trainee at this academy. He passed the test, and then he left. Then she mentions the second genius, a girl named Ignit. She organized a mercenary band. At just 14, Ignit immediately challenged Elia's brother. I want to fight you. And since the Lindsay family doesn't refuse challenges, her brother accepted. But the fight barely started, and in just 3 or 4 minutes, with only a few slashes, Ignit defeated him. Completely. Ignit looked at him and said, What a disappointment. I didn't even enjoy fighting you. Elia says quietly, In front of my eyes, the image of my brother, the brother I idolized, collapsed. I felt so embarrassed, watching him like that. But when my brother spoke to me after, he acted like nothing happened at all. He comforted me so easily, and I truly believed he would overcome that challenge and become victorious again. But he failed. And after that point, his personality completely changed. It felt like he fell into this unbearable despair. His eyes turned cold, and I started feeling this heavy pressure, like I had to protect that image. I watched my brother crumble at such a young age. That's when I realized it wasn't just the defeat that broke him. It was the people, the ones who piled endless expectations onto him, and then made him feel worthless, like he'd been disrespected just because he lost one match. After that, I made my decision. I wasn't going to let anyone control me. But I also knew I was already being controlled, little by little. So when I was just 12, I entered the academy. I knew Ignit had gotten her first big achievement at 13 and got first place here. I wanted to be recognized as an official knight too. By 14, I wanted to chase her everywhere and beat her to it every time. But now, I'm done with all of that. I don't want to chase anyone anymore. And honestly, I want to thank you for that, Aaron. Because after seeing you, I felt like you're someone nobody can control. You don't care what anyone says about you. Not even a little. So, I'm going to follow the path you've made. I've made a new promise to myself. From now on, I'll follow my own heart. I'll do what I want to do. I'm not doing anything because of other people's pressure. And even if I follow this new path, I'll still reach the level of a master someday. So yeah, this is what I'm choosing. This is what I'll do. Eren looks at her and says, "You're seriously amazing. You overcame all your hardships, and you can see beyond this academy. But me, I still don't have any clear goal." Elia replies, "Then don't get comfortable so fast." Eren gives her a weird look. Elia quickly explains, "I mean, don't relax. Work as hard as you possibly can." Then as she leaves, she says, "And the way you performed this time? You closed the gap between us so much. So I'll make sure I widen that gap again. I'll work even harder." Elia walks away. And Eren thinks to himself, "Am I really okay? After everything happening to me, am I actually fine?" Scene cuts. Now we see Lloyd. He's standing in that same training arena, right in front of the huge crack in the ground, the one Eren made during the final assessment. He's just staring at it, thinking. Judith walks up and says, "Hey, don't you know this area is under construction? Everyone's been told not to come here. So what are you doing here? Come on, let's leave. I really feel like fighting Let's Spar or something." But Lloyd says quietly, "I'm quitting." Judith freezes. "What are you saying?" Lloyd says, "A guy who just started holding a sword can perform like that. And me? I've trained for years. I have power, experience, and still I can't do anything. I've been training for so long, but my results don't feel like they're improving at all. How long will it take for me to reach Eren's level? Or maybe I never can. Maybe some people are chosen. Maybe only they can do things like that, and I'm not one of them." He turns to leave. "Thanks for everything, for what you've done for me." But Judith grabs his shoulder, stops him, and punches him straight in the face. Lloyd goes flying back. He snaps. "What the hell was that?" Judith yells, "Are you stupid? You couldn't even dodge one simple punch. And in training, you defended my slashes? So what happened now? Is your brain already made of stone? Or did your body turn into stone too? Why aren't you stopping my attacks? And what is this crazy talk? He's chosen. He's chosen." "You've seriously lost it." She keeps hitting him, furious. Then she says, "Have you ever thought about me? I'm a girl, and I still can't beat an idiot like you. So what about me then? And what about everyone else here learning swordsmanship? Are they all wasting their time too? Or, according to you, are they all idiots? What kind of dumb logic is that? You should be proud. You beat the greatest swordsman on the continent when you were young. And even if you never achieve anything else in your life, that one achievement is more than enough." Then she steps back and says coldly, "If you still want to do this stupid quitting thing, fine. I can't do anything for idiots like you." Scene cuts. A few days later, the interviews begin. Elia is in front of the swordmaster. The swordmaster asks, "Did you get what you wanted? Are you satisfied now?" Elia says, "Yes, I'm satisfied, but not just because I got first place." The swordmaster says, "Sounds like, with the way you are, you're going to shine really bright. From midterm till now, you've evolved a lot." Elia says, "That's because of your teachings." "Thank you." The swordmaster smiles. "What did I even do?" "Anyway, you can go now." As she leaves, she thanks him again. Then the swordmaster tells Ahmed, "Ahmed, call the next trainee." Next comes Lord Lloyd, and obviously he must have told them he wants to quit. So the swordmaster immediately says, "Are you an idiot? Your results are seriously good. And I'm not only talking about test results. Your swordsmanship is strong. You're a role model for a lot of people. So why are you saying nonsense like this? You know how insane that attack was? You've polished your strength so much. You fixed your weaknesses. You did the best you possibly could. And honestly, that's exactly what I expected from you. But Lloyd says to him, "Sorry, but I've got zero confidence left in myself." The swordmaster thinks to himself, his eyes? They're totally dead. Like a candle that's already burned out. He can't even hear what I'm saying, and he definitely can't understand it right now. So there's no point explaining anything to him. Then the swordmaster says, out loud, "All right then, do whatever feels right to you." And in his mind he adds, "If only I had the chance to twist whatever feelings are inside him. But whatever." Next trainee is Aaron, and the swordmaster says, "Your final assessment was really memorable. You performed insanely well. And honestly, it was the biggest surprise for me. Since I became swordmaster, I've never seen anyone pull off a technique that crazy." Then he asks Aaron, "Do you remember what I told you after your midterm interview? And now, I have a proposal for you." Aaron says, "Yes, sir. I'm listening." The swordmaster says, "But before that, I want to ask you something. Aaron Periara, what's the reason you keep swinging your sword so much? Why did you practice this hard?" "There has to be a reason," Aaron starts thinking. "My reason for swinging the sword." And he remembers that man from his dreams. He goes quiet. Ahmed jumps in and says, "Hey, don't overthink it. It doesn't have to be some deep reason. You can say something simple, like honor, or money. And whatever your reason is, it's not wrong, as long as it's not morally messed up." But Aaron still keeps thinking. Then the swordmaster says, "Aaron Periara, you didn't choose the path of swordsmanship by your own free will, right?" Aaron suddenly replies, "Yes, you're absolutely right." Ahmed looks shocked. "Swordmaster, what are you saying?" The swordmaster says, "I don't even know. It just felt strange. Out of every trainee here, you were the most serious about the sword. More than anyone. You were too diligent. And I realized it because I never felt any natural emotion from you. No real excitement for swordsmanship. When Lloyd realized he was improving and getting better than others, I could see happiness in him. But I never saw that in you." When Judith realized she was falling behind Lloyd, she controlled her anger. And still, she felt something real. Every trainee here was feeling something during training: happy, sad, frustrated. But you? I never saw any kind of emotion from you. Then the swordmaster asks, "Aaron, are you trying to follow someone? Are you walking someone else's path?" Aaron says, "Yes, you're right." The swordmaster says, "Just like I thought. I'm surprised you made it this far, just by imitating someone. You're crazy. If copying someone got you to this level, that's honestly insane. I won't ask who you're following, but if you've decided to keep walking this sword path, then from your next stage onward, you have to think carefully. Choose your path properly, step by step, because if you don't have a reason, you'll stop right here. You won't have any reason left to stay here. If you already achieved what you came for, then why are you still here? This place isn't only for swordsmanship. It's a place where you find the purpose of your existence. If you can find that, good. If not, then you'll have to decide your future on your own." Aaron says, "Thank you, sir. I'll always remember your advice." The swordmaster says, "Don't use words like final. It sounds too sad. Use something nicer." Aaron goes, "Okay." Then the swordmaster calls him closer. "Do you mind if I take one drop of your blood?" Aaron feels weird about it, but agrees. As soon as Aaron gives the blood, the swordmaster prepares a kind of golden medal, certificate, like an award. It says Aaron is now an official trainee. He hands it to Aaron and says, "Now, within 1 year, find your own way of the sword. You have 1 year. If you find your own path, by then great." Aaron says, "Yes, I'll definitely come back here after 1 year." Evening scene. Aaron and Elia both have their bags packed. Elia says, "Aaron, whenever you get time, come visit me." Then she gives him a small symbol. Aaron asks, "What's this?" Elia says, "It's my family's symbol. If you show it to the gatekeeper or guards, no one will treat you badly. They'll treat you officially. And when you come to meet me, I'll gift you flowers." Aaron is shocked. "Flowers?" Elia says, "Yeah, the same kind of flowers that were engraved on the bracelet you gave me. So I'll give you the real ones." We see Elia is wearing Aaron's bracelet. Aaron asks, "Oh, so you grow those flowers at home?" Elia says, "Yeah, I started gardening when I was 7. But for you, I'll plant them specially this time. They fully bloom around April and May. So come meet me around then." Aaron says, "Yeah, sure. I'll definitely come. We'll meet." Then Judith shows up and says, "Hey, what's that shiny thing? Give me one too." Aaron looks kinda shocked seeing her. Judith says, "If you don't have one to give me, fine. I'm not forcing you. Anyway, I can't force you, so no need." Elia quickly says, No, it's not like we don't want to give you." Judith goes, "If that's not it, then give me one too." So Elia gives Judith the same family symbol. Judith says, "Wow, nobles are seriously crazy. Where do they even get this kind of stuff? I'll never understand." Then Judith tells Elia, "I'm sorry for all that." Elia asks, "For what?" Judith says, "For mocking you and saying stuff about your family." Back then, I didn't have anything like a family. So whatever came in my mouth, I just said it. I honestly didn't even realize what I was saying. Elia says, "I'm sorry too. I ignored you all the time. Please forgive me." Judith turns to Aaron. "Why are you just standing there smiling like that?" Aaron says, "Because I think I like peace." They keep messing around, arguing, talking nonsense. Then from behind them, Lloyd walks in. Aaron asks, "I heard you're leaving the academy. Did something happen? Why are you leaving so suddenly?" Lloyd says, "I don't know. God knows what happened, but I can't explain what happened to me." Aaron says, "It's okay. Everyone has their own circumstances. We're not blaming you for anything." Then Lloyd asks Aaron, "Are you leaving the academy too?" Aaron says, "Yeah, but I guess I'm not leaving forever. I'm going for now, but once my training is finished, I'll definitely come back here." Meanwhile, Lloyd is lost in his thoughts, thinking, he's still trying to improve himself. And here I am, someone who already gave up. Who am I? What am I even doing? Then Aaron speaks again. "Lloyd, thank you so much. Seriously, thank you. Because of you, I became a lot more confident. I feel like because of you, I gained a completely different level of skill with the sword. I can't really explain what happened to me, but 1 year ago, something completely changed me. That's when I started swordsmanship, and because of that change, I'm standing in this academy today. The reason I was able to keep going all this time, the reason I could forget my past, is because I kept improving myself. I slowly came to understand who I am. That's why I could move forward, and a huge part of the credit goes to you. Ever since I met you, there's been a really big change in me." As he says this, Aaron sincerely thanks Lloyd. At that moment, Lloyd's guard steps forward and says, "Master Brett, it's time for us to leave." Lloyd replies, "I'll be heading out first." He starts walking away, and the atmosphere turns heavy and emotional. When Lloyd sits inside the carriage, Aaron suddenly shouts out loud, "Brett, next time we meet, we'll both be much stronger. We'll definitely meet again." Brett Lloyd also looks very emotional. As this scene continues, Judith walks up and says teasingly, "Why are you separating like lovers? Why are you crying so much?" Aaron replies, "It feels like I'll never meet Brett again after today. I want to meet him again. I really hope I can see him again someday." Just then, the family butler arrives and says, "Master, I'm here to take you home." Aaron introduces his friends and says, "Butler, these are my friends. I trained with them here at the academy." The butler looks shocked and happy at the same time. Friends? You actually made friends here? He then thanks Ilya and the others. Thank you so much for being friends with our young master. After that, Aaron gets into the carriage and says, All right then, I'm leaving now. From outside, Judith and Ilya shout, Make sure you come back soon. As the carriage leaves, Judith thinks to herself, Should I stay here and wait for Ilya? Should I stay with her? Ilya, on the other hand, wonders, Why is my family taking so long to arrive? Judith then says, I'm really hungry. She tells Ilya she should leave. Ilya replies, All right, take care and have a safe journey. And the scene ends there. Next, we see the swordmaster. Ahmed says to him, You must be feeling really sad now. All your most talented students have left the academy. The swordmaster replies, Yeah, you're right. I can't deny that they were extremely talented. Ahmed then asks, What about Aaron Pereira? Is he doing okay? You told him to find his own path of the sword. That's not an easy thing to do. Do you think he can really manage it? The swordmaster calmly says, What are you worried about? Don't you know he's the fourth genius of the continent? He adds, Compared to other geniuses, he's different. Very different. He's a genius because he understands effort. In the next scene, Judith is walking back. She says to herself, In the end, I'm the only one left. I'm completely alone. As she's thinking this, Lloyd suddenly appears behind her. He asks, Why are you walking like that? Is something wrong? Judith is shocked and says, What are you doing here? Why did you come back? Lloyd replies, I thought a lot about my decision. Then I realized I'm a member of the Lloyd family. And as a Lloyd, giving up isn't that easy for me. I couldn't give up. And since Aaron has already left, who would you take your anger out on? Someone had to stay behind to handle your explosive temper. Judith angrily says, What nonsense are you talking about? Lloyd then asks, Aren't you happy that I came back to the academy? Judith is kind of happy, but she hides it behind anger and says, You idiot. Lloyd laughs and says, Aaron told me that when someone agrees with you, you start arguing back. That means you agree with me. Judith snaps at him. Just shut up for once. Do you really think the swordmaster will accept you back, after you already left the academy and now you're returning? Lloyd confidently replies, Of course he will. Even if I have to kneel down and beg him, I'll do it. There's no way he'd abandon someone as talented as me. So in the end, he'll listen. After that, the two of them start talking more casually. Judith keeps throwing insults at Lloyd, while Lloyd laughs and says, I really think you should cut down on the swearing a little. And with laughter, teasing, and a few emotional moments, the scene comes to an end. In the next scene, Aaron is traveling back toward his family with the butler. He keeps staring outside the window the whole time. The butler notices this and starts thinking. He says to himself, He's been looking outside nonstop. Then the butler thinks, Well, that's understandable. He still hasn't officially become a trainee. The butler doesn't really know what truly happened back there. He just assumes that Aaron hasn't been accepted yet. Suddenly, the butler notices something in Aaron's hand and asks, Young master, what is that you're holding? The moment he sees it's a platinum emblem of the Lindsay family, he freezes in shock. Where did you get this from? Aaron calmly replies, My friend gave it to me. The butler is completely stunned. Your friend? Is she really that close to you? Aaron then asks, Do you remember that white-haired girl I introduced you to earlier? Her name is Ilya Lise. She's the one who gave me this. Hearing that, the butler is speechless. He thinks to himself, This is really hard to believe. At the same time, Aaron thinks, If the butler is this shocked, that means the Lindsay family is even more amazing than I imagined. After that, Aaron says, All right, butler, I'm going to sleep for a bit. We see Aaron slowly fall asleep while sitting there, thinking to himself, I need to find my own way of the sword. Later, they stop at an inn. The butler says, Young master will be staying here for the night. Inside the room, Aaron sits down and begins meditating, the same way he does when gathering energy. Outside the room, the butler is listening carefully, but he can't hear anything at all. He starts thinking, maybe because he didn't become an official trainee, he's acting a bit strange. The butler worries. What should I do now? What should I say? Then he decides, I should encourage the young master so he doesn't feel bad. As he steps outside, he suddenly notices someone standing there. It's an orc. The butler is shocked and says, I heard orcs only appear in the northwest continent. What is one doing here in the south? Then he realizes something even stranger. This isn't just any orc. The orc is wearing a hexagram pendant, and his skin is covered in tattoos. He's an orc seer. The butler rushes inside and tells Aaron everything. He explains, orc seers are extremely skilled, the most talented among all seers. Aaron replies calmly, yeah, I've heard that too. I've also heard that meeting an orc seer can bring great fortune to your future. Aaron walks up to the orc seer. The orc smiles and says, welcome, dear customers. Which one of you wants to see your future? Aaron steps forward. I do. The butler thinks to himself. Orc seers are famous for saying only good things. Maybe this will cheer the young master up. The orc asks, what kind of fortune do you want to hear? Today's fortune? This year's fortune? Love, wealth, or health? I can tell you everything. Then the orc adds, sorry, but can you tell me how old you are? The butler is shocked. His age? Aaron answers, I'm 16 years old. The orc looks closely and says, you do have a baby face, but if you lie to me, I won't be able to read your fortune. Tell me your real age. Aaron replies firmly, I'm not lying. After that, the orc says, from what I can see, any knight order you choose to join will gladly accept you. He continues, if you walk the path of the sword, you'll advance very quickly and reach the fast track of growth. Hearing this, the butler gets angry and shouts, what nonsense are you talking about? Stop this rubbish. Are you really a seer? I don't believe a single word you're saying. Then, the butler turns to Aaron and says, young master, we're just wasting our time here. The butler says, we should leave now. There's no benefit in staying here anymore. But just then, Aaron stops him. Wait. The orc steps forward and hands Aaron something. He says, whenever you feel like things aren't going your way, or when you feel confused and lost, take a look at this. It will help you a lot. Aaron thanks him and starts leaving. The orc watches him quietly and thinks to himself, his body isn't bulky at all, but it's perfectly optimized for practical movement. Even more surprising, there's a strange, powerful energy coming from him, wrapping around his entire body. Who would believe this kid is only 16? At that age, how can he have so much energy? He's truly a mysterious being. Then the orc mutters, I wonder if our paths will cross again in the future. Let's see what happens. Just then, he notices people staring at him. He quickly says, oh crap, I should focus on my work. The next day arrives. The butler apologizes to Aaron. Young master, I'm sorry about yesterday. I didn't know that orc was a fake. Aaron replies calmly, it's fine. Don't worry about it. And it's not like he told me anything bad. What he said actually made sense to me. Aaron then remembers the item the orc gave him. We see that it's a note. On the note it says, there is no need to be alone to stand alone. Aaron thinks, what did he mean by giving me this? What was he really trying to say? Did he sense that man inside me, the one who keeps appearing in my dreams? The butler says, I knew from the start that he was strange. And why was he asking about your age anyway? Especially from someone who was returning home after failing the exam. Aaron hesitates for a moment, then says, oh, didn't I tell you? I didn't fail the exam. I passed. It's just that the timing isn't right yet. Hearing this, the butler is completely shocked. Aaron continues, I will be accepted there, but under the swordmaster's conditions. He gave me some homework that I need to finish first. The butler lets out a loud shout, completely stunned. Suddenly, the carriage driver speaks up. A carriage from the Garin family is approaching us. The butler looks outside and sees the Viscount of the Garin family coming their way. This is unexpected, he thinks. In his mind, he recalls, the Garin family usually acts hostile toward the Pereira family, and their young lord once humiliated our young master badly. As he looks closely, he realizes it's their second son, Aaron Garin. The butler informs Aaron, Master, Aaron Garin and Jack State have stepped out of their carriage. Should we meet them? Aaron replies calmly, Yes, I'll meet them. Avoiding them wouldn't look good. They step outside. The butler bows respectfully. My greetings to both of you. The Garin family members look at Aaron and say mockingly, Aaron, you've grown quite tall. Aaron Garin smirks and says, Looks like you're returning from the Chrono Swordsmanship Academy. In his mind, he adds, Well, it's Aaron after all. Of course he would come back. The butler asks politely, If you don't mind me asking, why have you visited our territory? Aaron Garin replies, I'm here to deliver a message from my father. He then steps closer to Aaron Pereira and says, It's been a long time since we last met, so tell me, how have you been? He looks him over and says, Seems like the academy taught you well. I almost didn't recognize you. Then he asks, So, are you planning to continue sword training? Aaron answers, Yeah, probably. The other boy smirks and says, What about your family? You could learn swordsmanship at home too. Since you started so late anyway, you can learn anywhere. The butler feels furious inside. That brat. He's only 1 year older than the young master. How dare he talk like that? Aaron then calmly asks him, Is there anything else you want to say? Or are you done? The boy replies, No, that's all for now. Aaron turns away and says, Then we'll be leaving. It was a long journey, and I need some rest. As Aaron walks away, Aaron Garin thinks to himself, That response was childish, but the way he reacted, he doesn't seem like the same lazy noble he used to be. Aaron suddenly stops him. Wait, listen to me. If you're leaving anyway, can we shake hands before you go? Aaron Pereira turns back. Why? Aaron Garin hesitates a bit, then says, You don't know? Swordsmen can tell each other's strength when they shake hands. Aaron Pereira replies, Okay, that's the first time I've heard that. Aaron Garin smirks. That's just your lack of knowledge. Then he adds, It's a famous quote. A swordsman named Louis Sogard once said, The most important thing for a swordsman isn't even his strength. It's how strong his grip is. He steps closer, acting proud. And I'm your senior. I started sword training 6 years before you, so I have the right to know how much you've improved. He extends his hand. Aaron Pereira calmly lifts his hand too. Inside, Aaron Garin thinks, All right, he fell for it. Now I'll crush his hand. I'll use every bit of strength I've got. He squeezes as hard as he can. Then he panics a little. Why isn't he even reacting? Why isn't there any pain on his face? We see Aaron Pereira standing straight, totally normal. Like he doesn't feel anything at all. Aaron Garin is shocked. I'm gripping as tight as possible. I'm putting insane pressure. And he still doesn't care? How is this possible? Aaron Pereira says casually, Oh, right. So that means I should grip your hand tightly too, right? As tight as my grip is. And the moment Aaron Pereira tightens his grip even a little, Aaron Garin's face twists in pain. He yanks his hand away instantly. He's holding his hand like it's broken, wincing like crazy. Aaron Pereira says, Oh, sorry. It's my first time shaking hands like that, so I couldn't control my strength. Aaron Garin is totally stunned. How does he have this much strength? He was, the lazy noble, a complete joke. While this is happening, a cat suddenly walks in. The cat speaks. Is it already over? Everyone freezes. Did that cat just talk? Then we see the words appear. A mystic cat. So what is this cat? How is it talking? The narrator says, There are some things in this world that shouldn't be possible. Things logic can't explain. When you see them, you start doubting your own eyes. People usually call those things magic, but that's not really accurate. Then the narrator explains, there is a power called mana, an invisible force, and those who train it are said to practice mystic arts. We learn that the cat is also a mystic cat. Whenever something happens that goes completely against the laws of nature, that phenomenon is called mystic arts. The butler thinks to himself, did a mystic person turn into a cat? Or is this cat naturally mystic? Meanwhile, the Garen noble says nervously, I've heard getting involved with mystic things never ends well. It always brings trouble. We should leave immediately. He turns to the mystic cat and apologizes politely. I sincerely apologize if we behaved rudely in front of you. We'll be leaving now, and if we offended you in any way, please visit our Garen territory sometime. The mystic cat tilts its head. You're leaving already? You don't want to fight? Then the cat stands up on its hind legs. How boring. You're just leaving. The cat pulls out something like a magical pouch and says, at least fight a little. If you don't have a sword, I can give you one. Then the cat actually draws a sword and starts doing little sword moves like it's showing off. The Garen noble quickly says, our families have good relations. We can't fight each other like that. I think you've misunderstood something. The cat shrugs. Yeah, fine. I thought something fun would happen here. Then the Garen noble turns to the butler and Aaron. Sorry if we wasted your precious time. You had a long journey, so you should go home and rest. Then he tells his young master, come, young master, we should leave too. As the butler and Aaron start walking away, the butler says quietly, maybe that was some kind of person? Maybe he's a person who got transformed into a cat. Hearing that, Aaron gets really shocked. The butler says, I'm not fully sure either, but it's possible this cat has some connection with Kirill, because young Miss Kirill is also a mistake. And as soon as I find any information in the castle, I'll tell you. And that scene ends. Next scene, they finally reach Aaron's family home. Aaron calls out, I'm back. His father says, welcome back. You worked really hard. Come on, let's go inside. Inside, everyone is sitting at the dining table, talking. His father says, if something like this happened, that means your talent and your swordsmanship improved a lot, and you got recognized. I'm really proud of you, Aaron says. Thank you, father. Aaron thinks to himself, proud of me? It's kind of amazing, hearing those words from my dad. Then his father says, by the way, I heard from the butler that you met a talking cat on the way. It's a mystic cat. Her name is Rue. Aaron says, so, wasn't it a person who transformed into a cat? His father replies, no, she's a real cat. She even has human-level intelligence. Kirill says, that cat is seriously strong. Just by looking at her presence, I can tell she might be the strongest mystic in the whole kingdom, or at least in the capital. Aaron's mom says, about 10 days ago, Rue visited the kingdom. She said she wants to become Kirill's teacher. She requested it. So we sent someone to the Mystic Association to check her identity first. Then we'll decide. But the most important thing is what Kirill wants. We'll decide based on that. Kirill asks her brother, Big brother, what do you think? Aaron says, I also think intentions matter most. Though, honestly, I don't know much about mystics. So, I can't really give advice about a mystic, Kirill says. But you said you met Rue, right? So tell me, what was she like? How did her personality feel to you? Their mom scolds Kirill. Kirill, why are you bothering your brother already? He just came back from a long journey. At least let him rest. Kirill gets mad. What did I even do? I just asked one question. Mom says, that's not a simple question. Aaron thinks, Kirill's childish side is back again. Something definitely happened. I can tell, just by her eyes, she's really angry. Then Aaron quickly says, "Oh, Kirill, I forgot. I brought you a present." He pulls out a pendant, type gift, and gives it to her. "I don't know if you'll like it, but I got it for you." Mom and Dad get super happy seeing Aaron brought a gift for his sister. Kirill gets shy and says, "Thank you." Aaron goes, "Hmm?" Kirill snaps, "I said thank you once. Don't make me repeat it." Aaron thinks, "Thank God. The butler saved me." We find out the butler told him to buy gifts. Aaron says, "And I have gifts for Mom and Dad too." They get even happier. Then suddenly, the cat walks in. It's Rue. Rue says, "This smell? Yeah, you're that same boy. And you're very different from your sister Kirill." Kirill immediately storms up, angry. "Why are you here?" Rue says, "Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to surprise you." Kirill's mom says, "Kirill, what are you doing?" Rue says, "I came because I thought maybe I could convince your brother. So I had to come." Kirill is like, "What are you even saying?" Rue quickly covers it up. "Oh, sorry. I shouldn't have said that." Stuff just slips out of my mouth. Kirill yells, "Explain what you just said, properly." Rue says, "It's nothing like that. It's just, your brother seems easy to convince. And you love your brother a lot, right? So, if I convince your brother, then, naturally, I also convinced you." That's what I was thinking. Kirill gets super embarrassed, doesn't even know how to react. Then, she gets angry again. Rue panics. "Sorry, sorry, sorry. I won't say things like that again." Kirill walks off, shouting, "I'm never going to be your student." Rue chases her. "Please forgive me." "I won't do it again." Aaron's dad says, "I honestly don't know how to handle this situation." Mom says, "We'll think about problems later." Then she tells Aaron, "Anyway, Aaron, tell us, what else happened in the Sword Academy?" They keep talking, and the scene ends. Next scene. Aaron is in his room. He thinks, Mom and Dad got so happy over such a small present. If this was a normal family, getting accepted into the academy would be totally normal. But my family is this happy because stuff like this is rare for us. I'm happy, but I'm also sad because after so long, I finally made them happy. Before this, I only caused them trouble. But I can't waste time anymore. I have to find my own way of the sword. Fast. I have to do something. Then someone knocks and comes in. "Young master, may I come in?" "It's a maid," she says. "Young master, tomorrow morning. You're going to the training grounds, right?" Aaron says, "Yes, early morning. So make sure everything I told you is prepared." The maid says, "Master, are you okay? I heard it took you almost half a month to return from the academy. So you must be tired. How are you starting training from tomorrow?" Aaron says, "No, I'm fine. Honestly, I'm really excited to hold a sword again. It's been half a month since I trained. So I really feel like training." And the scene ends. Next scene, the Garen family. We see the Garen family's Viscount questioning his child and his soldier. He asks what happened that day. Jack says, Aaron's expressions that day were really strange. It felt like he changed completely. The father looks shocked. We find out his name is Viscount Phil Garen. He asks, "Did something happen in our territory that day?" Jack explains what happened, and the Viscount gets furious. He yells, "When all that was happening, where were you?" Jack says sorry. Then the Viscount calms down a bit. "Okay, maybe you had your reasons for not stepping in. But this Aaron you're describing, how did he change so much?" Jack says, "That day, he was like a different person. He must have achieved something huge. At the academy," the Viscount is shouting angrily. "This is an academy, not some mystic arts chamber. Then he says, Harren Pereira, Aaron's father. I never liked Harren Pereira from the very beginning. He has strong trade routes, a beautiful wife, and even a mystic daughter. His territory keeps becoming more and more prosperous every single day. And now, even his son. His son is growing so fast. How is he improving his territory so much? Saying all this, he gets even angrier and completely loses control of his aggression. Then Ryan speaks up. Father, please calm down. We'll have to end this somehow. And we will do it. This isn't Aaron. This is Ryan, his son, the eldest one. Jack asks Ryan, do you have any plan for this? Ryan replies, yes. You already know the expedition is very close. That means the conference of the 6 southern families of the Hell Kingdom will be held in the Pereira territory. And at that time, we can get rid of that lazy noble somehow. Hearing this, the Viscount becomes very happy. He says, yes, that's actually a good idea. Then he tells Jack to leave. Jack replies, all right. But while leaving, Jack thinks to himself, this is going to turn into a huge problem. The eldest son of the family is now involved too. Things are going to get really crazy from here. And this scene ends. Next scene. Early morning, the guards arrive for training. One guard asks another, why do we have to come so early? The second guard replies, the expectation conference is coming very soon. That's why we need to prepare ourselves. If we're not prepared properly, we won't be able to control the monsters. And they'll just roam freely in the streets. Another guard says, this expedition has lost its real meaning anyway. It's just one family trying to assert its status over another. That's all it is now. While they're talking, they suddenly see something and get shocked. They see Aaron. He's already there, training early in the morning. He even started before all of them. One guard walks up to Aaron and says, hello, Lord. I heard you just returned yesterday. So why are you training so early already? Aaron replies, oh, yes. I heard the soldiers also have early morning training now. And as for me, I'm just doing individual training. So don't worry. I won't disturb your training. The 2 guards whisper among themselves, if he's here, that probably means he got expelled from the academy. The other guard replies, yeah, most likely. And honestly, his physique isn't amazing, but it's still way better than before. Look at that plate he's lifting. He's lifting it so cleanly. His strength has increased a lot. One guard tries to lift the same plate, but he can't move it at all. The other guard thinks, how was Aaron lifting this so easily? Just then, the lead knight arrives. His name is Oren. Oren shouts, what are you all doing? It's training time. A guard replies, sir, we were just watching Lord Aaron train. Oren thinks to himself, if this is real. The way he's doing chin-ups, lifting plates, the pressure on his waist. This is insane. His posture is perfect. How did he transform this much in just 1 year? But then Oren says aloud, this is nothing. It might look amazing to you, but for knights like us, this is completely normal. A guard asks, sir, can you also train like Lord Aaron? Oren shuts him up calmly. Idiots, it's already 6, 10 inches the morning. How long will you keep talking nonsense? Stand in line and train properly. And the scene ends. Next, Aaron picks up his sword and heads to practice. On the way, he notices Rue. He thinks, did she come here to convince me again? Then he says to himself, no, I shouldn't focus on her. I should train calmly. I need to find my own way of the sword. I can't keep swinging my sword the same way I learned from that man in my dreams. I'll follow the swordsmanship I learned at the academy. I can't walk the same path anymore. I have to find my own way. A week passes like this. We see Aaron training with the guards every morning. The guards are completely exhausted, but Aaron isn't tired at all. One guard thinks, How is he running even faster than us? He isn't even sweating. His breathing is totally stable. Suddenly, that guard stops and says, I can't go any further. Aaron stops too. The guard tells him, your stamina has increased a lot. Aaron replies, oh, really? The guard says, training is about to end. Are you going back too? Aaron replies, no, I'll train a bit more. Inside his mind, Aaron thinks about Judith, Ilya, and Liad. They were amazing. They trained completely on their own at the Chrono Swordsmanship Academy. They're incredibly hardworking. They helped me a lot during my training, too. If I ever have a dream, he suddenly stops. He looks at Rue and thinks, for a whole week now, she's been watching me non-stop. What is she thinking? Why is she following me? A guard warns him, Lord, you should be very careful. Aaron asks, why? The guard replies, I've heard rumors. Wherever the mystic cat appears, misfortune follows. People say she's cursed. Aaron thinks to himself, that's why the soldiers avoid Rue. Because of those bad rumors. After training ends, Aaron walks up to Rue. He says, hey Rue, you said you'd persuade me, right? Then why haven't you said anything yet? Rue replies, as for Kirill, she's really funny. I enjoy teasing her. But you? You're not funny at all. You're like a boring stone. A stone lying among thousands of stones on a riverbank. Hearing this, Aaron reacts badly. He says, you're really mean. Rue smiles and says, come on, I'll give you a present. Aaron replies, all of a sudden? Rue gives him something and says, I was going to give this to you anyway, so don't think this is a bribe or anything. Keep it. And say nice things about me to Kirill. The item is called Cat's Eye. It's not an actual cat's eye. It's just a nickname for a gemstone. Seeing it, the butler gets shocked. It's extremely rare. Aaron asks, Butler, is this expensive? The butler says in shock, this is Cat's Eye. It can buy more wealth than a quarter of the Pereira territory. Rue smiles and says, thanks for saying that. You've put me in a good position. Aaron will definitely accept it. Then Rue says, if Aaron likes this, I'll give him even better stuff next. Stuff he'll like even more. Aaron asks Rue, why do you want my sister to be your student so badly? Why are you so obsessed with making her your student? There has to be a reason. Rue goes, oh wow, what a great question. Then she says, because I don't have any reason. Aaron blinks. You seriously have no reason? Rue says, I don't need a reason to make her my student. I just want her to become my student. That's enough for me. The butler is thinking, this is really shocking. Then the butler asks Rue, so if you don't have any strong reason, why are you giving such a huge bribe? Rue looks offended. What are you trying to say? That I don't understand money? The butler panics. No, I'm not saying that. Rue says, no, you are saying that. What, you think I'm stupid? Even if I'm a cat, I know how valuable this cat's eye is. But humans, they think way too much about gems and gold. There are lots of things that are far more important than that. Then she pulls something out and shows it. Look, I've got this wooden ball too. This is super rare. The scent on this wooden ball is unbelievably lovely, and you can't find it again anywhere. So for me, this is a treasure. No matter what the reason is, no matter what the condition is, I can never trade this. Even if someone gives me dozens of cat's eyes in exchange, I still won't trade it. Then she starts showing more items, rare treasures she cares about. Rue says, see, none of these treasures can be bought with gold or gems. The butler nods. Yeah, you're really smart. Aaron thinks to himself. I didn't expect her to think like this. So that means Kirill is also one of those people you can't buy with money. While Rue is still talking, Aaron looks at her and thinks, I actually like this cat, Rue says. Anyway, Aaron, take it, and say nice things about me in front of Kirill. But Aaron refuses. Sorry, I can't take this. Rue freezes. What are you saying? Did you even hear me? This is super expensive. Aaron says. Yeah? I heard everything. And I also heard what you said there are things more important than money. So instead of saying good things about you because I took a bribe, I'll tell her the real things. The things I genuinely feel about you. Rue stares at him. I thought I couldn't do anything about Kirill, but I was sure I could buy you with this. I mean, win you over. But looks like I can't. Fine. But don't think you're some strong opponent like Kirill. You'll always be an easy opponent for me, and I'll keep trying to persuade you even more. And the scene ends. Next day, Rue runs up to Aaron and yells, Aaron! Big problem! Come with me, quick! Aaron says, What happened? Rue drags him along. Aaron keeps asking, Tell me already what happened. Rue says, I'm eating, so stay with me. Aaron stares. That was your big problem? Rue says, Whenever I eat alone, when no one's around, I get really nervous. Next day again, Rue does the same thing. Aaron, hurry! Another big problem. Aaron follows her, and Rue takes him to another cat. She points and says, This cat sitting here, can you tell what she's thinking? Aaron goes, No, I don't know what she's thinking. Rue gets annoyed. I asked you. Why are you repeating my question back at me? Aaron says, You just want me to guess, right? Because you already know what she's thinking. Rue snaps. What are you even saying? How would I know what she's thinking? How can one cat know what another cat is thinking? Aaron starts laughing hard. Rue goes, What's so funny? Aaron says, No, nothing. But while he's laughing and enjoying this moment with Rue, he suddenly remembers what the swordmaster told him. You have to find your own way of the sword within 1 year. Aaron suddenly stands up and starts walking away. Rue calls out, Aaron, where are you going all of a sudden? But Aaron doesn't stop. Outside, it's pouring rain. Aaron thinks, I don't have time for this. I need to find my way of the sword as soon as possible. After leaving the Swordsmanship Academy, I lost my path. And now I have no idea what I'm supposed to do. How am I going? To do it? And he starts training again nonstop, only thinking, I have to find my way of the sword. But I don't have any other method. Except that swordsman he sees in his dreams. Rue comes to him and asks, Aaron, have you ever learned mystic arts? Aaron says, Why are you suddenly asking me all this? Then Rue suddenly says, Aaron, become my student. Aaron feels like the atmosphere around them gets heavy all of a sudden. He looks at Rue and thinks, this isn't her usual self. She changed her mood on purpose. Rue says again, Aaron, did you hear me? I said become my student. I'll teach you everything. We'll explore the world of mystic arts together. We'll learn a lot of exciting things. Then Aaron suddenly realizes Rue is back to her normal, playful self. Aaron refuses. No, I'm not becoming your student. I'm a swordsman. I'll only practice swordsmanship. I'm not a mystic. Rue says, fine. But if you want to learn, I'll start teaching you from today. You have to start now. Aaron says, no, this isn't like magic. Mystic arts are completely different. So how am I supposed to learn them? This isn't something you just feel like doing and boom, you learn it. Rue says, you don't know anything about it. Someone like you, a swordsman, with such a strong will, I honestly can't think of anyone more suitable for mystic arts. And from what I can see, there's a very high chance you'll awaken. An ability that will help your swordsmanship too. Aaron goes, What? What are you trying to say? Rue asks. Do you even know the difference between a swordsman, a magician, and a mystic? Aaron says, No, I don't. Rue goes, All right, listen. I'll explain. All martial artists, including swordsmen, focus on their body. In other words, they focus more on their inner self. After endless training, after making themselves stronger, they gain a boundless power we call aura. Now on the other side, magicians focus on their surroundings, meaning the outside world. They analyze mana. Mana is a mysterious power found in nature, and only if you understand the principles, the laws, the logic of the world, only then can you use it. And the second 47th, third thing is mystics. A lot of people say there are existences that shouldn't even exist in this world. Their existence is kind of impossible. You can't predict them. They ignore the world's rules. They ignore common sense, and they create something separate that becomes reality. That's what we call a mystic. She adds, people also call mystics stubborn, crazy. Honestly, I do have complaints about them too, but most of what people say is true. Then Rue says, Aaron, did you notice one thing in all of this? Aaron says, What? Rue says, the most important thing a mystic needs is a strong will, so strong that it can change what's possible in this world. Mystics need an extraordinary, unshakable heart, a heart that goes beyond normal existence. So we can say this mystic power is proportional to the power of the heart. That vertical slash you just showed me, I can feel how unbreakable it is. It has desire, a desire to cut. And that desire, that will, is enough. Even with very little assistance, you can awaken mystic arts, and it will definitely help your swordsmanship. But even after Rue's long speech, Aaron says, Sorry, I still can't do it. I have to focus on swordsmanship. Rue goes, Why? Why? Why are you doing this? Aaron says, It's not like I don't want to learn mystic arts, but I can't do it together with my sword. What I just showed you, that sword style. And Aaron suddenly stops. Rue asks, What? Say it clearly. Aaron hesitates. How do I explain this? It's hard. But the swordsmanship I just showed you, it's not mine. Rue's eyes widen. Wow, that was unexpected. Aaron thinks. She's probably gonna think I'm hiding some secret about that dream. But then, Aaron tells her everything about the swordsman he sees in his dreams. Rue goes, Whoa, that's fascinating. It sounds like possession. Aaron's like, Possession? Rue says, I've heard cases where two different existences overlap inside one person. Different personalities, different presences, layered together. Your case isn't exactly the same, but it's pretty similar. Then Rue asks, But how is that stopping you from learning mystic arts? Aaron thinks, if even a mystic cat like Rue is impressed by that swordsmanship, then that guy's sword really is something else. Aaron says, It's because I don't have my own sword. Rue cuts him off. That's where you're wrong. The one you're trying to imitate isn't your only sword. You have another one. That one is your sword. Then Rue starts walking away, talking like she's already his teacher. Fine. Looks like it's finally time. A master will give her disciple some advice. Aaron shouts, Who said I'm your disciple? I still haven't accepted that I'm going to learn mystic arts from you. Rue looks back. I think you're misunderstanding something. Then she says, coldly, Everything you've done until now wasn't your effort. In simple words, it was just a waste of time. And she walks away. Scene ends. Next scene. Aaron is lying in his room, thinking about everything Rue said. He mutters, My head's turned into a total mess after hearing her. Then someone knocks. Young lord, may I come in? Aaron says, Yeah, come in. It's the butler. He asks, Is Miss Cat Rue here? Aaron gets shocked. Rue? Did something happen? The butler says, yes. I have two things to tell you. First, the upcoming expedition. That Southern Union conference. Our family is hosting it, and it's in just a few days. The family head wants to speak with you. You have to decide whether you'll participate in that conference or not. Aaron says, okay, I understand. The butler continues, second, about Lady Rue. There are a lot of bad rumors. One rumor says she was part of a mystic guild called Oracle in the Eastern continent, and the moment she left, that guild was completely destroyed. I also heard the second son of the Jackal family became her disciple, and after becoming her disciple, he died in an unfortunate accident. There used to be a very wealthy merchant group before, and their downfall started right after they met Rue. Aaron asks, are you sure about this? The butler replies, yes. The fall of the Oracle and the collapse of that merchant group, all these incidents clearly show how unfortunate it is. Aaron asks, but is there any evidence that Rue was involved in all of this? The butler says, to be honest, there's no solid evidence. But the fact is, Rue was present there. Aaron replies, it's also possible that Rue didn't do any of this. The butler says, young master, of course, I understand that rumors can be true, and they can also be false. But the black cat superstition, and so many unfortunate events happening together, they must have happened for some reason. That's exactly how these rumors are born. He continues, it's possible that this innocent-looking little mystic hasn't done anything wrong, but still, there's no need for you to put yourself in any kind of potential danger. Please try to keep your distance from her. Then, as he leaves, the butler says, please forgive me if I spoke beyond my limits. I'll take my leave now. After that, Aaron keeps thinking to himself, I shouldn't think badly about the butler. He's only worried about me. But I did say that I would tell Kirill exactly what I felt about Rue. And based on what I felt, her personality didn't seem bad at all. She didn't seem like someone who would harm anyone. Rue's personality is very different from others, even different from humans. But she has many good qualities. At least, this is what I'll tell Kirill. I don't care what people think about her rumors, or whatever stories are going around. Just then, a voice comes from under the bed. And what if something bad happens to you, or to Kirill, while I'm with you both? Aaron thinks to himself, I knew it. Rue is here. Aaron says, then I want to ask you one thing. What the butler just said, is all of that true? Tell me honestly. Rue replies, yes. Aaron is shocked. What? Does that mean you did all of that? Rue steps out and says, no, not at all. I was only nearby. The Oracle Tower was destroyed because the people there kept fighting among themselves. The merchant group's children were always fighting with each other too. And even in the Jackal Thief case, something similar happened. Aaron thinks to himself, either all these events happened because of bad luck, or Rue is lying. But either way, both possibilities are extremely dangerous. Then Aaron says, I'm fine. Rue is shocked. What? Aaron continues, I mean, even if we stay together, I'm fine. I don't have a problem. Rue says sadly, but I'm a black cat. People say I carry misfortune. Aaron replies, it's okay. That's not a problem. People spread a lot of bad rumors about me too, so I'm used to it. Rue says, what? Aaron replies, I'm almost like you, or maybe I was. I used to hear those things too. And honestly, it was partly my fault. Anyway, I'll judge things based on what I see myself and what I feel myself. If misfortune really comes after being associated with you, then I'll think about what to do. But right now, nothing like that has happened, so I won't worry about it. Hearing this, Rue becomes very emotional. Aaron says, the people around me might be worried about me, but I'll try to remove all their concerns. Then Rue takes something out of her pouch and says, I'm giving this to you. This is even more expensive than the cat's eye. It's extremely valuable. Take it, and tell everyone that I'm not a bad cat. Suddenly, Rue disappears without giving Aaron a chance to say anything. Aaron says, I told her I wouldn't speak about her just because of a bribe. I wouldn't take any bribe from her, but she disappeared all of a sudden. Then Arin looks at the item and says, "Wow, this is even bigger than what she showed me last time. How am I supposed to handle something this huge?" After that, a week passes. The conference day finally arrives. The Viscount welcomes everyone, and the Garin family arrives as well. The Viscount approaches Arin and says, "Oh, Arin Periana, you've really grown a lot since the last time I saw you. You look like a man now." Arin thanks him, knowing very well that he's being teased. Then Arin's father says, "Viscount Karen, please allow me to escort you inside." A huge lunch is prepared, and everyone takes their seats. Arin is sitting there, remembering what the butler told him earlier. "Young master, remember this. The families gathered here are not on good terms with us. It's not that we're openly enemies, but they are not our friends either. So we must stay cautious." Arin notices that Baron Boyer and Baron Fried have arrived. The butler had also told him that the families most hostile to the Periana family are Lester, Lucille, and Garin. All their viscounts and barons are present here. The butler also warned him to be especially careful around Viscount Phil of the Garin family. "Our relationship with him is very bad, even from the previous generation. So you must be extremely cautious." Then, Arin's father addresses everyone. "Thank you all for taking out your precious time and coming here today. The purpose of this gathering is to ensure the safety of the southern trade route and to maintain peace and prosperity among the 6 southern families. That is why we are gathered here." Everyone starts drinking their wine. Arin also starts drinking, but he clearly doesn't like it. He thinks, "Do I really have to drink all of this?" Everyone starts staring at Arin, because his way of drinking looks a bit strange. Arin thinks, "Did I do something wrong?" Just then, Viscount Phil of the Garin family says, "Arin Periana, the way you're holding your glass is incorrect. White wine is very sensitive to temperature. If you hold it like that, the heat from your hand transfers to the glass, and then into the wine. That's why you should hold the glass from the stem at the bottom." Arin says, "Oh, sorry," and apologizes. The Garin guy laughs and says, "Why are you apologizing? Things like this happen. Just try to hold it properly next time." Then he starts making fun of Arin. He's doing it intentionally. Everyone knows that. After that, someone from another family joins in and says, "Yeah, you're absolutely right. This Arin guy is acting just like a commoner. This way of drinking wine is what separates us from commoners." A couple of other families start laughing as well. Then Garin says, "Don't twist my words into something else." After that, Garin turns to Arin's father and says, "Please don't misunderstand what we're saying." Then he starts laughing again. Arin's father calmly replies, "Yes, I'm not misunderstanding anything." Then Garin adds, "Oh, what a relief. I only said that because I was worried about Arin." After that, Garin turns to his son and says, "Ryan, the symphony I gave you earlier, did you listen to it?" Ryan replies, "Yes, father, especially the second piece. I really liked that one." Someone from another family says, while looking at Arin, "Oh wow, look at how deep his expertise in music is." Then he asks Arin, "So Arin, what kind of music do you listen to?" Arin replies, "I don't really listen to any particular type of music." The man looks surprised and says, "Is that so? I heard you studied at the Swordsman Academy. You must have had some free time there. So you must have done something in that free time, right?" Then he adds mockingly, "It would actually be better for you if you were more cultured. Otherwise, this is pretty embarrassing for you." Then he laughs and says, "Relax. I'm just joking. No big deal." Meanwhile, Ryan thinks to himself, "How does it feel, Arin? Not being able to answer a question that's basic knowledge for nobles? This is all because of your laziness and your ignorance." This moment proves how weak Baron Periana was when it came to his responsibilities. Because of him, you were neglected. You were never properly presented to society. And now, you're paying the price for it. Arin thinks to himself, "I can't do anything. I can't do anything at all." While he's stuck in those thoughts, his father asks, "Arin, are you okay?" Arin replies, I'm sorry. I'm not feeling well. Can I leave now? His father says, Yes, you may go. Arin leaves the hall. As he walks away, guilt overwhelms him. He starts running and says to himself, I'm doing it again. I ran away again. I thought I had become more confident, but that's not true at all. I thought I could face these things. But I had no idea how much pain my father went through. My mother and Kirill too. They must have suffered so much because of me. I'm really a complete loser. I'm not good at anything. He bangs his head against a wall. Then, in anger, he grabs his sword and starts swinging it wildly. He shouts, I don't even know why I'm swinging this sword. What does any of this even mean? Then Arin remembers what Rue said to him. Rue had told him, You've only wasted your time. Arin thinks, What? Rue's voice echoes in his head. Yes. Everything you did was completely pointless. You were just going through the motions, overworking your body. That wasn't real effort at all. You didn't put in any true effort. You only wasted time. You pushed your entire body and let your heart chase a purpose on its own. But tell me, was that really effort? Your heart will always support your actions, and all you did was rely on that. So tell me, Arin, do you really think you put in effort from your heart? Or was all of this completely effortless? Thinking about those words, Arin swings his sword again in anger. He shouts, I don't even know what all of this was. I honestly don't know anything anymore. Just then, some kids from noble families appear behind him. One of them says, Oh, so you're here. Another kid adds, It's pretty impressive that you went to the Swordsman Academy. That can't be a lie, right? And honestly, the adults inside are having boring conversations. So how about sparring with us? How about a little fight? We find out they're young lords from the Lester family. One is named Kevin, and the other is Caesar. They look at Arin and say, What's wrong? Why are you so quiet? You couldn't even hold a wine glass properly. Don't tell me you don't know how to hold a sword either. Then another boy steps forward. He's Martin, the eldest son of the Russell family. He says, I think 1 year is way too little time to learn swordsmanship, especially for a lazy lord like you. Another kid laughs and says, Yeah, you're probably right. Arin is furious now. He shouts, Come on, come fight me. There's a different kind of rage in his eyes. One of the boys says angrily, What did you just say? Why are you acting so arrogant? He steps forward and says, I'll fight him. It's been a long time since I last used my sword, and someone who trained for only 1 year can't possibly beat me. He smirks and says, I'll show you. Arin Periara. Arin grips his sword and gets ready to fight. That strange rage is still burning in his eyes. The boy starts saying, I'll give you the first. But before he can finish, Arin suddenly rushes forward. He attacks at incredible speed. The boy's sword flies far away before he can even react. In the next moment, Arin's sword is right at his neck. The fight is over. Arin says coldly, So, who's next? The boy panics and shouts, Wait, stop. That doesn't count. I wasn't ready. You didn't even tell me to start. You attacked suddenly. Arin replies, Oh, if that's the case, pick up your sword. Let's fight again. Before that can happen, another boy steps in. Kevin, stop. This time I'll go. He looks at Arin and says, You lowered your guard. That's why you lost. Now watch how I fight. He smirks and says, Honestly, I feel even better now. I'm sure I'll beat you. Kevin shouts from the side, He didn't even give me time to prepare. You saw that, right? The other boy replies, Yes, I saw. He's really shameless. But don't worry. Now you'll see what happens to him. Martin will teach him a lesson. Arin looks at Martin and asks, So, should I start? Martin answers, Yes. Martin charges forward to attack. Arin only blocks his strikes. Martin laughs. That's useless. All he can do is block. The other boys start feeling relaxed, watching the fight. But suddenly, Arin launches a fast attack. Even though Martin keeps attacking, Aron blocks everything calmly. He doesn't crumble at all and defends each strike smoothly and effortlessly. Martin is shocked. How is Aron doing this? Suddenly, Aron strikes back hard and pushes Martin backward. Aron's sword hits so powerfully that Martin manages to block it. But when he looks at his hands, they're bright red from the impact. That attack was insanely strong. Aron asks calmly, "What happened? Aren't you going to attack me more?" Martin thinks in panic, I can't do this anymore. I don't want to continue." He shouts, "Someone stop this fight." Another adult steps in and yells, "Why hasn't this fight been stopped yet? Can't you see the outcome is already decided?" He turns to Martin and says, "Martin, stop now, before your hands get seriously injured. Do you want permanent damage?" Just then, Ryan from the Garen family arrives. He looks at Aron and says, "Aron, you've improved a lot. How about fighting me? And if possible, let's use real swords." Aron replies calmly, "All right, I understand." Ryan smiles and says, "I'm really liking your school personality now." Inside his head, Ryan thinks, why did Aron agree so easily to fight with real swords? Ever since he left the academy, he's become way calmer. Ryan thinks further. Looks like I'll have to sharpen things a bit. We're using real swords, after all, but since he's still a noble, I'll avoid his face. If he gets injured anywhere else, that's not my problem. Ryan says aloud, "I'll give you the first strike. I'm your senior, and I learned swordsmanship before you. That much courtesy I can give you." Then he smirks. "What's wrong? Did you not like that? If you want, we can do it your way too. I don't mind." He continues, "Aron, I've been waiting for the day I could battle you, and that day has finally come. It feels strange. When I saw you in the past, you were just a kid, but now you've improved so much. So come on, Aron. I hope you don't disappoint me this time." Aron holds his sword straight and closes his eyes. People around whisper, "What's wrong with him? Why did he close his eyes? That's insane." Suddenly, Aron opens his eyes. The same aura starts flowing from his body, the one that appears in his dreams. Ryan freezes in shock. He thinks, Why am I scared of him? Why am I stepping back? Am I afraid of his attack? No, that can't be possible." After that, Ryan is completely terrified, scared that Aron might attack him, and he stands there holding his sword, and suddenly his sword breaks, even though Aron hasn't come close to him yet. So no one understands how it snapped like that, and we see that Ryan's sword is split cleanly in half. When Ryan looks up, Aron is standing right in front of him, and Ryan is totally shocked, thinking, "How did Aron cut my sword in half?" While everyone behind them, the Garen family kid and the others are all thinking the same thing. How did he lose like this? And Ryan is confused in his own mind, thinking, our swords didn't even clash, so how did it break without contact? When suddenly, a voice comes from behind saying, "So, you're all in the training hall?" And we see the Viscount of the Garen family arrive, along with Aron's father and another family's Viscount. And the Garen Viscount asks, "Are you all fighting each other here?" As he looks at his son and notices Ryan's broken sword and asks, "Ryan, what happened to your sword?" And Ryan replies, "I lost the battle against Aron," which completely shocks his father, who says, "What?" While Aron's father thinks, did Aron really defeat Ryan? And Ryan stays calm and thinks, I need to stay confident, before saying to everyone, don't make a big deal out of it, just act like nothing happened. Aron's sword is extremely powerful, and the attack came from 5 meters away. That's why my sword broke like this, causing everyone to react awkwardly. After which Ryan's father speaks up and says, Aron's swordsmanship must be excellent. He trained for a year at the Chrono Swordsmanship Academy, so Ryan couldn't match him. And the others laugh and nod politely, even though it's obvious they're faking it. And another noble adds, this is actually a blessing for our Southern Union. I'm sure Aron's sudden growth will help us a lot. And the Garen Viscount agrees, and praises Baron Para, even though everyone knows they're pretending. And soon the Southern Union Conference ends, and all the families leave. And on the way out, Ryan's father tells him, Ryan, you lost to Aron? I don't know if you did this on purpose or not, but our relationship with the Pereira family has improved. Still, next time I won't accept any changes in our plan. Remember that. We must not lose again." And Ryan bows his head and says, "Yes, I apologize." After which the Viscount tells his retainer, "Sir Steward, prepare 5 trainees when we return to our estate." And that scene ends. Then in the next scene, Aron's father tells him, "You don't need to participate in the subjugation event. Becoming an official trainee is more important right now. Focus only on sword practice for the academy. These events are just a waste of time." But Aron replies, "No, I will participate, no matter what happens, father. I know what you're worried about, but I promise I'll overcome my weaknesses. I'll win what I need to win. Give me 3 weeks. I'll work harder than ever. I'll prove that I can handle your worries. And if I don't show results in 3 weeks, I'll accept your decision." And then Aron walks away while Cyril and her mother watch him. And Cyril asks, "Will he be okay?" And her mother replies, "Of course. Your brother is doing his best. All we need to do is believe in his efforts. He'll succeed." And next we see Aron practicing with his sword again as he thinks, "I won't become a burden to my family anymore. I won't let them get mocked because of me. I won't let them suffer. I'll erase this sadness as soon as possible. The humiliation my family faced today, I'll never let it happen again." And while practicing, Aron asks Rue, "Does what I'm doing still look like wasted effort?" And Rue replies, "No, what you're doing now is real effort." And Aron asks, "Then in my current state, can I learn Mystic Guard?" And Rue says, "Yes, definitely." And Aron says, "Then teach me. I'll do whatever you say. I want to learn mystic arts." But Rue replies, "Don't be so impatient, Aron. I'll teach you, but not today. You're full of emotions right now. You won't train properly today. Rest for now. We'll start tomorrow." And Aron nods and says, "Okay." And the next day, Aron says, "No one is allowed in the training hall today. I told my father to restrict entry." And Rue responds, "Oh, good thinking." And Aron looks at Rue and asks, "By the way, where did you get those glasses?" Noticing she's wearing glasses and looks like a strict teacher, and she replies, "Appearance matters. If you don't have the right mindset, training won't work." And then she says, "As I told you before, in mystic arts, the most important thing is your heart. You must turn what's in your heart into reality. All your wishes must become real. And your wish is to protect your family, right?" And Aron nods and says, "Yes, you're right." And Rue looks into her book and asks, "Then what kind of wish will make you stronger?" And Aron replies, "I'm not sure." And Rue says, "The easiest and most common way is superstition." And Aron asks, "Superstition? Like blind belief?" She says, "It doesn't matter if a story has no base at all. Mystic art's power depends on how strongly you believe in it." She continues, "Back in old times, people used to treat huge rocks like the sun and worship them, and they believed they could fulfill their wishes through religious ceremonies. Religious faith is considered the strongest kind of belief, and people were even willing to sacrifice themselves for it. But if you want to avoid all that sacrifice stuff, then you need to awaken mystic arts." While explaining, Rue then says, "Anyway, the method that fits you best is sword training, but with a really strong wish." Then Rue leans close to Aron's face, doing something weird. Aron asks, "What are you doing?" Rue says, "Hurry up. Pick up your sword." We see Aron lifting his sword and practicing again, swinging it the same way, and then we get a flashback. Aron asks Rue, "So you want me to keep practicing swordsmanship the same way I've been doing?" Rue says, "No, not exactly. It's not a promise. A stronger word would be contract. Yeah, let's call it a contract. Swing your sword 1,000 times a day. Sincerely, put your whole heart into your sword. And think like you're moving forward, growing. Think that every day you're getting stronger. It's just like the superstition I mentioned. Because you're working every day, you'll definitely reach the point you want to reach. By repeating actions linked to your wish, your belief and your heart's power both grow stronger. So your belief becomes real. And since you're training daily, your power increases too. And your whole body gets stronger, day by day. That's why we call it a contract. The only difference this time is, you have to do it with your whole heart, so your belief can actually form. Back in the present, Aaron thinks to himself, right now, while I'm swinging, I don't feel any difference. It feels like I'm still practicing the same way as before. Man, this is so hard. Do I have to swing with all my strength and pour my love for my family, my feelings, into every swing? What am I even supposed to wish for? A stronger swordsman skill? Or what? I don't want anyone to ignore me again. Thinking all that, Aaron keeps training. Rue watches him from far away and thinks, for now, it's enough that he started thinking. As he keeps working hard, he'll slowly awaken on his own. Soon his effort will pay off. Mystic arts always awaken through effort. And even if this is completely groundless, it'll still work. We see Aaron practicing every day. 1 day, 2 days, and then 10 days pass. After 10 days, he looks discouraged and says, it's been 10 days, and I still don't see any results. No improvement at all. Am I even doing this properly? Or am I just wasting my time again? Rue walks up to him and says, Aaron, in situations like this, when you're working hard, trying with your whole heart, the thing that hurts you the most is doubt. If you start doubting yourself, you can't move forward. It's natural you'll feel self-doubt at this stage, but you have to overcome it. You'll feel worthless. You'll get all these useless negative thoughts, but you have to beat them. No matter what, keep practicing your sword. Stop your negative thoughts from flowing. When you feel like you can't believe in yourself, then remember the people who believe in you. Remember the people you're doing this for. They struggled for you. You have to pay them back. Think of them and keep practicing. Aaron says, I have a lot of people supporting me, but there are very few who actually believe in me. Rue asks, why would you say that? Aaron says, I was a coward. My whole life, I just ran away from my problems. And for 15 years, I just stayed in bed. So who would believe in someone like me? Rue says firmly, I believe in you. Then she says, didn't I tell you before? You're like those thousands of stones by the river? But I was wrong back then. You're still a stone, sure. But you're a super smooth, sturdy, really pretty pebble. And I don't think many people hate a stone like that. She adds, and as a reference, let me tell you about Kirill. From what I've seen, Kirill really likes you. She worries about you. I'm a cat, but even I can tell that. So don't jump to your own conclusions. There are a lot of people who like you. Then Rue says, all right, today's lesson ends here. Go to your room and think about it more. The scene ends. Now, Aaron is sitting in his room thinking, who actually believes in me? He thinks about his mom, dad, and Kirill and says, they waited for me for 10, 12 years. They kept struggling. They must have had so much faith in me. But the reason I started swinging a sword, that wasn't even my own will. If I had to choose by myself, I might have never been able to do this. Then he thinks about his friends, about the academy, and the instructors. And he says, they didn't believe in Aaron. They believed in that will inside me, the will that woke up when I saw that man in my dream. But that me, maybe that could have never happened. I want to become someone that people can truly believe in. I wish I could become like that. While saying that, Aaron slowly falls asleep, and while he's sleeping, we see some kind of energy swirling around him above the bed. Next scene, Kirill is doing something, and suddenly she feels it. A strong mystic arts energy is flowing from somewhere. Kirill rushes to Rue. They both see Aaron inside some kind of shield-like space. Rue says, Aaron has awakened mystic arts. Kirill storms up angrily and says, awakening? I've never heard of an awakening like this. Tell me the truth. What happened here? Rue says, Aaron went deep into his own heart to fulfill his wish. Kirill says, what? Ru replies, yes, it's a space where no one else can enter. No one can interfere. That space exists only for Aren and his wish. Ru continues, now Aren will keep training in there until he gets a result, until he's satisfied. Kirill asks, then when will he come out? When will he leave that place? Ru answers, he'll come out only when he gets a result he's satisfied with. And no one knows how long that will take. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe in a month. Maybe even a year. I can't say. Then Ru thinks to herself, worried, did I curse someone again? Please, Aren, I'm begging you. Come back out soon. Now in the next scene, we see what's happening inside Aren. Like, inside his dream world. He's back at that place where the swordsman always trains. Aren says, so I'm back in that same dream again. The one where that swordsman keeps swinging. He watches him and thinks, he's swinging his sword like always. Nothing is different. Aren just stands there staring. Then suddenly, the swordsman notices Aren. Aren can't believe it. He says, wait, that guy? He can see me? How can he see me? And then the swordsman looks straight at him. Some kind of energy shoots out and rushes toward Aren. That energy grabs him and pulls him toward the swordsman. Aren gets dragged closer and closer, and then cut. The scene drops right there. Next scene, we see Aren lying on the ground. His clothes are totally different now. Aren says, was that a nightmare? Maybe I got that dream because my head was hurting so bad. But then he suddenly realizes, wait, I was on my bed. So how did I end up on the ground? And these clothes, they're not even mine. Then he looks around and realizes he's in the same training place again, the swordsman's training ground. But this time, that man isn't there. Aren says, so I'm still in the dream. But where did that guy go? This has never happened to me before. What's going on with me? What is this place? While he's thinking, he notices the swordsman's sword lying there, the same sword he always trains with. Aren says, this is a situation I've never been in. I can't even explain it. Could this be mystic arts? Did I awaken mystic arts? He looks around and thinks, this space, I manifested it with my wish. This is my training space. I wanted a place where I could train properly, so my supernatural wish came true. This place exists only for me. No one can disturb me here. I can train properly, as much as I want. Getting excited, Aren grabs his sword and starts swinging. He says, I'll definitely find my own way of the sword. I will, no matter what. He trains for a while. Then he notices it got dark way too fast. Aren says, this always happens. I wish it got dark a little later. This won't work. Fine. I won't train today. I'll continue tomorrow. But the moment he thinks, man, I wish it wasn't dark yet, the sun rises again behind him. Aren freezes. Wait, the sun came out again? Now he's sure. Yeah, this is definitely mystic arts. Then he thinks, I wish it was spring right now. And instantly spring appears. He says, there should be a breeze, and it shouldn't be too hot. And it happens. Then Aren walks inside and says, okay, training's done. I want more comfortable clothes. And his clothes change. He sits down to eat. Then later, he goes to rest and says, this is the best environment. I can fully focus on sword practice here. This mystic arts power is seriously insane. Time passes like that. 5 days go by since he entered this world. Then he realizes something. No matter how many times I try to sleep, whenever I wake up, I'm still in this world. Does that mean, until I reach my goal, I can't leave this place? And that man I always see in my dreams? What's my relationship with him? When my mystic arts awakened, why did he appear in front of me? But then, Aren stops himself. No, I shouldn't think useless thoughts right now. I should focus only on sword training. I have to put my whole heart into my sword. Yesterday, I swung my sword 2,000 times. Today, I'll do it 3,000 times. And his daily count keeps rising. 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, and before he knows it, it's been a long time in that world. He says, I can't swing more than 6,000 times. Am I doing something wrong? No, it's fine. I shouldn't doubt myself. And he starts swinging again. He thinks, did I get too relaxed in this environment? Is that my real problem? More time passes. He's training and says, even today, I only managed 5,600 swings. My limit dropped again. While walking back inside, he thinks, if I really think about it, I haven't rested at all for a whole year. I'm pushing myself more and more, and I'll keep pushing, and I'll keep growing. Days keep passing. Then one day he says, my hands, they're starting to hurt. I hope it doesn't affect my training. Maybe that's enough for today. I should rest a bit. But then we learn. It's been a very long time since he entered this world. And for the last 90 days, Arn hasn't even picked up his sword. He's just been sleeping. Half asleep, Arn says. To be honest, I knew this would happen. I've lived most of my life like this. Like some lazy noble. Even the time I became a swordsman, that wasn't because of my own will. It was because of that man, the one I saw in my dream. I came here to find my own way of the sword, with my own power. But he disappeared. And after he disappeared, I can't do anything on my own here. All my training was meaningless. I was just swinging a sword. I wasted a whole year. I don't even know how much longer I'll be stuck here. And if time is flowing like the real world, then I'm just wasting time. But whatever. At least here, I can live comfortably. No one can disturb me. Saying that, Arn closes his eyes again. And suddenly, when he opens them, Ilya is standing in front of him. Ilya says, Arn, hurry up. You need to start training. Arn is shocked. Ilya, how are you here? He tries to get up and move toward her, but he suddenly falls. He says, Ilya, are you happy seeing me like this? Ilya says, you should be running. And she drags him out to run with her. Arn thinks, how did she appear here? Ilya says, Arn, you're getting too slow. Keep your pace. After the run is over, they come inside. Ilya says, sit down, we have to eat. Then we'll go straight to sword practice. Arn eats, but his face looks weird, like he can't process it. Ilya asks, what is it, Arn? You want to say something? Arn asks again. Ilya, how are you here? Ilya snaps. Stop asking useless questions. Eat faster. We're getting late for training. Aaron says, okay, got it. Then training starts. Ilya says, what have you been doing here all this time? Look how bad your posture has gotten. Did you forget your training? Your heart is completely empty now. You need to fill your heart again. Only then your movements will become proper. Then she asks, did Rue teach you that? Arn freezes and says, wait, how do you know about Rue? Ilya replies, I told you, stop asking pointless questions. Then Ilya keeps instructing him through training, and while training goes on, it becomes night. Ilya tells Aren, good work. That's enough for today. I'll see you next time. She starts walking away, but after going a little ahead, she suddenly disappears. Arn thinks, I was right. That wasn't the real Ilya. He falls onto his bed and thinks, today, I'm completely drained. Today, I'll fall asleep on my own. I won't even have to try. And as he's drifting off, he wonders, how did Ilya appear in the mystic arts world? Did I unconsciously call her here? Was I thinking about her? Still, whatever it wasn't that bad. And Aaron falls asleep. Next day, suddenly Judith shows up right in front of him. She yanks him up and even smacks him while waking him. Hey, dumbass. What are you doing till now? Get up. Don't you have to train? The sun already rose. How long are you going to sleep? Do you want to die by my hands? She drags Aaron outside and says, I knew this guy wouldn't train. Outside, Ilya is there too, and Lloyd is there as well. Lloyd looks at Aren and says, Aren, what's going on with you? You've started oversleeping a lot. You weren't like this before. You used to train all the time. Judith snaps. Grab your sword and start training. Now, Lloyd says. He hasn't even warmed up yet. Think before you start yelling. And then those two start bickering like always. Basically, the exact same scene from real life is playing out inside Aron's dream. While they're busy fighting, Ilya tells Aron, "Come on, let's go. Leave them. We'll start our training." Aron's training begins again, and Aron thinks to himself, "My posture got bad again. Is it because I took such a long break?" Ilya walks up and says, "Aron, it's okay. Don't worry too much. It'll take some effort again, but you're definitely getting better. You can do this." She keeps motivating him, but Aron still looks kind of demotivated. Then we see everyone doing running practice. Everyone's shouting, "I'll go ahead. I'll go ahead." And Aron's thinking, "I'm the kind of guy who's super lazy. I'm weak. I eat way too much. Why do they believe in someone like me? Am I really worth their belief? Can I actually grow? Can I prove myself?" Aron keeps running, but he's exhausted. He says, "Even breathing is getting hard now. My legs feel heavier than before. It feels like I've hit my limit. But why? Why does it feel like I can still run more? I have to do it. I can work harder." Just then, Judith overtakes him, and Lloyd comes from behind too, yelling, "I'll beat you! I won't let you win." After that, we see a battle between Aron and Lloyd. Lloyd says, "This time, I'm definitely beating you, Aron." Aron defends his attacks properly, and attacks back too. Lloyd says, "Good. You're way more stable today. I can see a lot of improvement." Aron still doesn't stop. He keeps attacking from every angle. From behind, the others are cheering, "Just a little more, Aron. Just a little more, you can beat him." Ilya thinks to herself, "This is the first time Lloyd is keeping this much distance the whole time." Lloyd says, "This is seriously impressive. You did really well." Aron thinks, "Thanks." Then he thinks, "Rue, you were right. I was totally wrong. I don't need to struggle alone. There are so many people who believe in me, and they'll always stand with me." Then Aron remembers what that orc said to him. "You'll definitely fix yourself. People trust you. With the help of those who love you, you'll overcome yourself." Aron says, "I don't need to be alone anymore." Then Judith, Ilya, all of them say, "So, it's over, right?" Aron says, "Yeah. I swung my sword 10,000 times." They say, "Our job ends here." Lloyd says, "I don't know when he'll call us again, but for now, this is enough." Judith says, "Aron, don't be nervous. Work hard, and don't fall into useless doubts." Ilya, disappearing, says, "Aron, do your best." And then one by one, they all disappear. Aron thanks them. Now Aron looks way more confident. He says, "Now, I have to start practicing again." And he starts swinging his sword again. He starts running again too. And now, it's been 12,237 days since he entered that world. We see days and nights passing. Aron keeps practicing nonstop. And now, inside Aron, we start seeing the image of that swordsman, the one from the beginning of his dream. With that same hard work, Aron keeps training. Days pass, and his training doesn't slow down at all. Then we see it's been thousands of days, and a different kind of energy starts coming out of Aron. Aron says, "This energy feels exactly like the one that came out of me at the Swordsmanship Academy." Then Aron thinks, "Should I call my friends back here? I need them for something." And then those people appear again. Judith looks at Aron and says, "Oh, so why did you call us this time? To show us how tall you've gotten?" Aron says, "I want to fight you." Judith grins. "Oh, nice. Then I'll be your first opponent." But Aron says no. He says, "No, I'll fight all three of you at once." All three of them get shocked. Aron says, "All three of you attack me together.